Sandra all the time is here with the cold hard truth. She's the ears and the eyes for me and you. Every day, everyone want to hear from Sandra. And every time on the air, she's getting better. Tell your sister, tell your brother, tell your mama, call Sandra in the morning and in the evening. They always calling Sandra. And when they start fighting, they calling Sandra. And
That's right, folks. Everyone is telling their mama about the cold hard truth. Welcome to another episode with more truth telling, more problem solving, and of course, more tea spilling than ever before. Sit back, students, grab your tea and turn up the volume because class is now in session. Call in at 936-2626 because your voice matters. Share your opinion on issues that matter the most to you. Good morning, K-Man. How's everybody doing? We're just waiting on Aaron to queue up for the news on 106.1 FM, and then we are going to be ready to hit the ground running today. So we've got several guests, so let me just grab all of our links, get everything ready, and then we are going to get the school bus going. Yes, honey, chillin'.
Interesting news.
It's Blake and Aaron's Spilling the Tea with Sandy.
K-Man's top
Pretty
news
good.
headlines of the day from CMR.
All right. Good morning, Sandy. How are you doing?
Good morning, good morning, good morning to the beautiful Aaron.
Yeah.
How are you?
Good. The ladies show still going on.
Yes, love it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Love it. All right, so let's talk about some news headlines this morning.
All right. What's going on?
So we've got several persons charged in relation to a firearm stop that was made several days ago. So this is a bit of good news. Someone was asking me, why don't we know who they are? And well, it's a simple question and it's a complicated question all at the same time. So basically the RCIPS, some years back, you might remember this, Aaron, the former commissioner decided to stop naming individuals because they used to name them even when they were charged. And media has just the other day at the press conference, we were asking, by the way, now that we have a new commissioner, will we see a change in this policy? And the answer was no. But the reason why, nobody quite understands. So they claim that even when they charge people, their investigations are still ongoing. And so naming them might compromise their investigation. But here's the weird part. Anybody can show up to court and actually see them in court because, you know, court is an open matter for the most part. And they show up on cause lists and stuff like that. So it's bizarre. It doesn't really make any logical or practical sense.
Yeah, it's not like they're hiding the name. Like you said, it's easy to find.
Yeah. So
Not only that, I'm sure everyone texts you the name immediately.
yeah, normally we find out pretty quickly and we name them anyway. So yeah,
Well,
it is what it is.
there
So,
still is due process, and I get that, but I mean, when it's out there, anyway.
yeah, I mean, it's, court is meant to be for actually practical reasons and reasons of like you want everybody to be able to see the process to make sure it stays above board. It is open to everybody. And
Not only that, when people know, I mean, not saying that, I know we need to get into a place where we're comfortable, like people are comfortable coming forward and saying what things that they've seen. But yeah, if someone is like, oh, I know that person, I know that they did this too, there could be something that someone could know to help.
Yeah, it's a bit bizarre. We don't quite understand the logic, but anyway, we'll do us and they'll do them. So, in any event, we'll keep an eye on these situations. So some of the, arrests over the weekend were due to the police just really being out there quite heavily doing traffic stops and so on. So this is good. And in one instance, one individual seems like they were traveling in a bit of a convoy. And so the other vehicle didn't have any weapons in it, but those persons or that individual didn't have license and insurance and that kind of stuff. So they got them in traffic offenses.
Yeah.
I call it the Al Capone, method of policing. If you can't get them on this, get them on something else.
Right. Yeah.
All right. So a 27 apartment development complex proposed for Clipper Bay is going to be before the Central Planning Authority. They're expected to discuss the application today. Apparently, this 27 unit development has a pool and rooftop hot tubs, and it is going to be on Clipper Bay Drive in West Bay. One of the issues that the residents in the area, well, two people have objected, saying that it's going to make traffic congestion, I guess, worse. The location is currently vacant. However, on November of 2017, planning permission was granted for 9 apartments, a fitness center, and a generator, a pool, and a dock. The developer of the $22 million investment has proposed 4 one-bedrooms, 4 two-bedrooms, 3 one-bedroom units for the 3-floor development. Now it's gone to more units, and neighboring property owners are concerned that the development could affect the current zoning of low-density residential. So we'll see what planning comes up with and, let you guys know.
Yeah, go around Grand Harbor and see that mess.
Yes. But listen, everybody who lives in Grand Harbor, you couldn't get them to move for any reason. They're like, nope, we love it here. We're glad our apartment complex is here. So you can't have it both ways. It's one of those things where the good comes with the bad.
Well, yeah. I mean, also just there's really only one feeding zone through a lot of that where a lot of traffic is coming through. So
yeah, well,
there's also that.
That's what happens when development doesn't keep up with road infrastructure.
Exactly.
HPV vaccine, according to Public Health, Gardasil 9 is now available at Public Health. So if you're interested in finding out more about this, you can certainly contact the Public Health Department.
Everyone should get vaccinated with that.
Yes. I mean, literally everybody, but yes. Yeah. The vaccine is recommended for both males and females, ideally administered between the age of 9 and 26. However, individuals even older than that may benefit from vaccination as well, depending on individual circumstances. And it's always recommended that you speak to your primary healthcare provider to make that decision. So Gardasil helps with preventing HPV-related cancers and diseases in our community. And more than 50% of people who are sexually active will get HPV at some point in their lives. So this is seen as a real game changer.
It really is. We didn't when we were younger, it wasn't a thing more so for us. I remember I was a little bit older when this came out. And so, it's something. I actually just went and had my first mammogram yesterday too.
Oh, so. Congratulations.
Well, I know, right? I'm at that age, apparently 40.
Yeah. Good for you.
So all preventative, whatever you can do. It's
everything counts. Yeah. Yep. And yesterday was National Asthma Day. So we had a very, very, very good session on our show, talking about all the things that you can do in terms of treating and managing your asthma. Mm-hmm. All right. So the RCIPS is hosting an open house recruitment drive in Georgetown that is taking place Saturday, May the 11th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. So please go by and check out this event. They're hosting a number of officers from the various units who'll be able to speak to interested members of the community about what it's like to be a police officer, as well as the recruitment process, the benefits, and requirements. So they're going to have their vehicles on display, live demonstrations, and so I guess go check it out. Check out their website for more registration. I don't know if they actually require you to register, but just go check out the website for more details.
Yeah.
Cayman Prep, congratulations to their girls. They secure a third cricket rally title.
Nice.
So the young ladies from Cayman Prep secured their third consecutive inter-primary girls cricket rally on Wednesday at the Truman Bodden Sports Complex. To win the tournament, they defeated East End Primary, 28 runs, 0 wickets lost in 5 overs to 27 runs, 6 wickets lost in 6 overs in the final, overcoming Cayman International School in the semifinals and John A. Cumber Primary in the quarters. Don't ask me what any of that means because I know nothing about cricket.
But the
But
match
it's
only lasted. Yeah, that's awesome for them. The match only lasted 7 days, right?
I know.
Yeah.
I know. Cricket is one of those things. I'm like, what?
It's interesting, but yeah, I'm with you. I'm still trying to understand it. Yeah.
It goes on forever.
Yeah. That
Anyway.
and just like the rules. I'm definitely, yeah. It's interesting though. I like it. Anything to get out there and do something that you enjoy is awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. So those are your news headlines for this beautiful Wednesday morning.
It is beautiful, and we'll see you tomorrow for the Thursday morning show.
The week is just skipping by.
I love it.
All right, Erin, take care.
You too. Bye. And that's
all right. Good morning, Class A. So yes, I'm so glad that Erin mentioned that she's done her first mammogram, because the medical advice these days is mammograms are now recommended starting at age 40. So make sure you get on it. The U.S. Preventative Services Task Force recommended last week that most women start receiving their mammograms at age 40. And this is a marked difference from the task force previous guidance, which was to start biennial mammograms at age 50. So we know that, for different reasons, they tend to reduce the age of certain types of tests. We saw, for example, colon cancer has now gone down to age 45. And so mammography also reduced from 50 to 40. So keep up with the latest in the world of medicine. We'll try to help y'all keep up here as well. Really, really important that you do all of your preventative testing. Again, knowing your numbers is extremely critical. By the way, don't forget, on Friday's show, the health ministry is going to be back in the program, and we are going to be talking to them about, not talking to them. Remember the survey that we spoke to them about a week or so ago? They're actually going to be on here doing the survey questions. So this is pretty cool. You can actually get to participate live in the survey itself right here on the Cold Hard Truth, where they know that we have hundreds of people tuning in every single day. All right, so we will definitely provide you a little bit more information on that, but I want to make sure you guys know that you have to show up to class on Friday and get all of those details. So let's go ahead and get our Instagram feed going. So good morning to everybody on Instagram, and morning to all of our Facebook listeners. We're going to send out the link here to WhatsApp in just a second. As you guys know, I'm the queen of multitasking, honey chair, doing about five things at one time. Including being able to still say things properly and not tings. Ay. All right. So we got 3 lists that we send the daily WhatsApp messages to. Don't forget, if you want to join that list, by all means, reach out 324-1612. And we'll get over on this other screen, the Instagram live going. Yes. Beautiful. And then we're going to check the phones, make sure we're up and going. Phone is at 80%. Lovely. All right. So very, very interesting conversation yesterday. We're going to continue. We have several guests actually that are coming on the program this morning. And then after our guests, we will then discuss and watch the latter part of the video about the Cuban nationals as well. And we're going to discuss a post that someone sent yesterday also. So good stuff. All right. Good morning, everyone. So I think one of our guests is going to try to log back on. I saw that she wasn't fully connected. So good morning. Hello, Inspiring. Don't worry, honey child. We're here. Inspiring is like, why can't I see you? Yeah, sometimes I turn off the camera if I'm really doing like the most, just to kind of focus a little bit. Good morning to Miss Bonnie joining us from East End. Felicia Rankin in the house. Strong Wilt says, Sandy, what a guan. You said G-O-R-N. I'm like, what the heck is Guan? G-W-A-N, Guan. Yes. Evelyn, good morning. Annie Powell's in the house. Good morning. Oh, Annie said that she got her top fan badge. What? So somebody said Cuban arrived by Windham Dock. Where's Windham Dock? That's East End? Oh, okay. They're saying more Cubans. Oh, okay. Well, CBC is going to be busy this morning, honey child. Yep. Yes. Let me see. Okay. Oh, okay. All right. 924-9999. All right. I think we're still waiting on one more guest. Okay. Good morning, Marshall, joining us from North Carolina. Miss Dean in the house. Miss Lucille says, good morning, Sandy. I did not expect to hear your voice this morning. I was planning to come and boil. What? And Bill. Bill you out of jail for your mouth. So bless you all. Stay blessed. Love you all. Out of jail? No, honey child. We're not jail material. We're not jail material. We're too pretty for jail and too sensible for jail. Leanna, good morning to you. Everton in the house. Cece McLaughlin is here. Buenos dias to Miss Alba. She says, buenos dias, Sandy. ¿Cómo estás? Bien. KK says, rubbish. Rubbish about what? Aliano says, new HPV vaccinations. Oh, okay. Where's my tinfoil hat at? Well, they're not new. I'm sure they're just telling you that they're available. Evelyn, yes, I did see the news about AstraZeneca. We're going to post that up a little bit later on. And we have to dig into exactly why that decision was made. But we don't have anything to worry about in the sense that we did not get the AstraZeneca vaccine. We actually did Pfizer and what was the other one called? Pfizer and something else. Can't remember. Something begins with an N. So yeah, we'll definitely talk about that. Pfizer and Moderna. All right, Miss Pat, Diamond Princess, Olivia, Damaris, Miss Emma's in the house. Good morning, Miss Emma. Aliano, everybody's here for class this morning. So good to see you. Shaka Zulu, Evelyn, Morna joining us from the beautiful district of Prospect. Siobhan is here and Miss Brenda Ebanks. Thank you guys so much. Good morning, Andrea. Dominique, so the need cleaning stuff as well. Well, we're going to explain the process, Dominique, sorry, because there is a bit of confusion about what happens. I'm speaking with, very sensible people who don't understand what happens to the Cubans when they come. So we will have a sit-down interview with the CBC team, and we're going to get all of those details so that we're all on the same page. I'm going to let the entire class know when that will be aired because there's quite a bit of misinformation out there. And so we want to ensure that we are all on the same page with the correct information. Remember, this is not a class where you pass just because of your age. You will fail if you don't get it right. So, and I do have some good news about yesterday when we went shopping for some cleaning supplies. I'm going to do a big shout out this morning in relation to that as well. Okay, I think our guests are ready. So we are here this morning. We have oh, that's my little alarm notification to say guests are coming. Well, they're here. Thank you, Mr. Alarm. Okay, so we have several guests that are coming on the show this morning. The first ones that are up are going to be talking to us from the Council of Older Persons. I think they had a name change a couple years ago. Sounds like they did. We'll double check. So we have Dr. Erica Simmons on the show this morning. She is one of the members of the Council of Older Persons. It was actually established back in 2017. So let's go ahead and say good morning to Dr. Erica.
Morning, Sandy. Morning, everyone.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you doing?
We're all very, very well. We also have joining us this morning, Miss Carleen Bramwell. Good morning, Miss Carleen. How are you?
Hello, good morning. I'm fine. How are you?
Yes, we're doing very well. Thank you. So we are here to learn a little bit about the Council of Older Persons and what you guys have been up to. I must say that it's one of those organizations that you don't really hear a whole lot about. So I'm so glad that you guys are here to tell us more about this council. What is the overarching purpose of the council? And of course, Ms. Carleen, let's introduce her properly. She's a senior policy analyst for gender diversity and equality in the Gender Affairs Unit of the Ministry of Sustainability and Climate Resiliency. Yes, good morning.
Morning again.
So tell us a little bit about the council. What's this council all about?
Okay. Carly, I'll take that one if that's okay.
Mhm.
The Older Persons Council, Sandy, was established, like you said, in 2017. We're established under Section 3 of the Older Persons Act. What our purpose is to champion the welfare of older persons through promotion, through development of programs, and any other measures that can make sure that all of this is in place.
Okay. So older persons qualify as what age group?
Persons 65 years old and older.
Okay, so retirement age, more or less?
More or less.
Yes, beautiful. All right, so the council was established in 2017. I'm sure you guys hit the ground running, but of course, in COVID, on your efforts a little bit more. So tell us now, what is the council, currently doing, and what is it that we really need to know about the role of the Council of Older Persons?
Okay, well, a bit more background before we get there. There are 14 members.
Okay.
We're all cabinet appointed. We have representatives from each district. So we have Ms. Lucille Seymour. She's our chairperson, and she's a representative for Georgetown. The deputy chairperson is Ms. Sarah Alice Mako, and she's a representative for West Bay. Representing Bordentown, we have Mr. Herbert Crawford. Representing Northside, we have Mrs. Alex Johnson. Representing East End, we have Ms. Alice Ann Kirchman, and our representative for the Sister Islands is Ms. Elsa Anna Rose Scott. And then we also have an attorney on the board, which is Mr. Mark Beckford, and Ms. Cassandra Ferrin, a social worker, and then myself. Then we also have, just like you introduced Carleen earlier, we have ministry representatives, so a representative from Ministry of Health and Wellness, Ministry of Education, Ministry of Labor, Ministry of Social Development, and our very own Ms. Carleen, Minister responsible for Gender Affairs.
All right, very good. So full and well-rounded group of individuals, basically make up the entire council. So let's talk about what is it really that the council is trying to achieve. It talks about the fact that you're trying to enhance the quality of life for older persons. What does that mean?
That means that basically we want the welfare of older persons to be paramount. We want an age-friendly society in which older persons can feel that they're still welcomed, which is a big thing. We don't want older persons to be isolated. We want them to enjoy all of the things in life that younger persons do. We want them to have access to places, access to good health care, to be as active as possible. And if they choose to work, for example, that is one of the things that we'd like to also see. When we go to the States, in Walmart, we see older persons actually still being active in the workforce. That's one of the things also that we would love to see. We'd love
Mhm.
to see families with their entire, young, old in between, going out to dinner and really feeling like, they're still a part of the society.
Mhm.
And essentially, Sandy, we just want to remind Cayman, this country was built on the backs of these persons. We want them to get the respect that they deserve. We want them to still feel relevant. We want them to still feel appreciated. And of course, we want them to feel respected. They still do have roles, not just because of their age that they should be
Mhm.
discarded. That should never happen.
Yes, absolutely. And I also think that, it's so important that when I see older persons, some people think, oh, yeah, this is a time to just throw grandbabies on them and have them sit down knitting all day. Like,
Hmm.
a lot of people 65 plus are they can be, and they certainly are very, very active.
Hmm.
As Ms. Carlene indicated, they can still work if they wish to. They can take a retirement and then start a second job. Maybe there's
Hmm.
something that they've always wanted to do that they weren't able to do professionally. They can study, they can go to universities.
Hmm.
There's really no limit. I mean, obviously the limit would be dependent on the individual and what they wish to do and if there's any physical limitations, but there's so many things that older persons can do. And I think, in our minds, a lot of times we have put them in a box already. Like, oh, you're 65.
Exactly.
This is your senior years. We give you a senior discount at the ice cream store, and then that's it. But really encouraging, older persons to live their fullest and best lives, remaining as active as possible, will actually ensure that they live much longer and have a much better quality of life as well. So, without a doubt, this is a really, really important function. As part of the remit of the Council of Older Persons, do you think it's also changing the perception of what?
100%.
Definitely.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Definitely, which is one of the reasons why we actually started this Age Proud campaign. And
Mhm.
basically, in this campaign, which the pictures, many of them you can see on social media or on our website, it shows older persons in active roles so
Yeah.
that, old age is seen as a blessing as opposed to a curse. And, you kind of have to just stick through it.
Mhm.
So we have people fishing, we have people who are cycling, we have people who are still farming. So that's the idea, to change the perception of the community that, once you reach old 65, it's downhill from there. It's certainly
Mhm.
not.
And it's important for us to remember to if you look at the figures from the census in 2010 compared to the figures in 2021, then the number of persons aged 65 and older has actually doubled. So just like everywhere else in the world, we're living longer, and we need to prepare for that. So people might think,
Mhm.
oh, old age is a long time away. It's a long time away, and if you're blessed to get there, you want to get there healthy. That's going to be me and you and Carlene if we're blessed.
Mhm.
In a couple decades, people are living longer. So we need to stretch that pension. We need to make sure that you're living longer and healthy, because you don't want to be older and have mobility issues and other issues that, things that you can prevent. We want to target them from early so that you can live your best life no matter how long that life is.
Mhm. Beautiful. So the Age Proud campaign, I see you have one of your images here says that Brackers are proud gardeners. So again, you're featuring individuals 65 plus throughout the community
Mhm.
who are doing the things that they love and demonstrating that age is perhaps just a number.
Exactly. And one of the things that we have done for sure is to ensure that local persons are in their local surroundings, because that's exactly what we want to show, that our people, our older people, are still living life, you know, at its fullest,
Mhm.
enjoying what they enjoy, and so forth. And Age Proud is really a global campaign that we have actually just sort of localized.
Yeah.
So it seeks to change the thoughts, feelings, and attitudes and perceptions about aging,
Mhm.
and on a national level, really.
Yes. So we see in this picture here, this is Miss Gay. She's known as Miss Gay and Cayman Brack
Mhm.
at 84 years young.
Yep.
Yes.
Wow. And still gardening and enjoying her gardening. We have a few more that we'll share here in a second. These are really, really beautiful. Um, you know, I think that I mean, when I lived in the States, I would see some seniors, for example, out at the crosswalk, like they had jobs like that, where they were interacting with young kids and helping them walk across the street. They would, do volunteer work together, because it's also important for our young children and younger generations to be as connected to our seniors as possible, because they have so much to share, so much wisdom and knowledge and information to share with all of us, that I think it's truly amazing when we can gap those relationships.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Sorry,
Absolutely,
go ahead.
Cindy.
Go ahead, Erica.
No, I was just agreeing with Sandra. It's what she said is absolutely true. When you think of societies or countries like Japan, the older person is revered. The knowledge that they have, they use them so often for think tanks to get ideas of how they can better society. And we as Cayman, we need to take a leaf out of that book and realize
Mhm.
that our seniors have so much information. I mean, they have so much knowledge and they're there just ready to be tapped for it. So we really need to utilize them more.
Mhm. So somebody says, well, why don't you keep, people over 65 in the workplace? Is that a decision that you guys are able to make, or how does that work if someone wants to continue working past 65?
So as a council, we advocate for things. We don't have the final say, obviously, but there are things that we will suggest to the different departments, ministries in government,
Mhm.
um, and one of those things is that we have spoken about that, whether there could be part-time work for persons, and we keep also reminding people that the retirement age is only that, a retirement age at which time you can start getting your pension. But it
Mm,
does not mean that people need to be kicking people out of the workforce if they're still able-bodied and willing to work.
mhm, mhm. Very good. All right. Of course, May is actually World Senior Citizen Month, which goes hand in hand with your campaign efforts as well. But I know a lot of people may not know this, but back in April of 1963, President John F. Kennedy and members of the National Council of Senior Citizens in the US set about designating May as Senior Citizens Month. And the prelude now to Older Americans Month in the US, and of course, other jurisdictions have also followed suit. So every president since President Kennedy has issued a formal proclamation during or before the month of May, asking for the entire nation to pay tribute to in some way to its older members of the community. So again, our seniors and older persons being so incredibly pivotal that we should make some real efforts to recognize them. So here we have another one. I know Mr. Crawford. He's got a wonderful mango tree that I love.
We know.
Yes, we've heard.
But
He brought
Sandy,
me
you've
some
just
just the other day.
yes, he's always farming and always giving me stuff. So I'm appreciative of Mr. Crawford. And the interesting thing about Mr. Crawford, for example, Mr. Crawford was actually my teacher in primary
Mhm,
school. So now I'm
Wow.
actually on a council with him,
mhm.
advocating for his rights. And I am hoping and praying that when I reach to his age, I'm
You'll be as
actually as
active.
active and
Yeah,
mobile and
Mhm.
everything as he's busier than I am as a
I
working
Yes.
person.
know.
But I
Yes.
mean, if you think about it, a lot of our retired friends, they're actually busier than when they were working their 9 to 5
Yeah.
jobs. They're on
Mhm.
different charities, different boards, meeting up with different clubs. And this is what we want to encourage, so that
Mhm.
persons still feel like they have a life, something to look
Yes.
forward to, which is really important.
But
Mhm.
Sandy, let me go back to what you were just saying about May, because you
Mhm.
just taught me something that I did not know. In
Oh, okay.
Cayman, in
Yes.
Cayman, we actually, so May we celebrate as Children and Family Month essentially.
Ah.
And then October is the month that we actually do older persons. So all of October from the very beginning until the
Uh-huh.
end, we recognize older persons month, because I think the first day is a UN recognized older persons day.
Mhm.
Um, and in talking about that as well, so the next thing in June, there is
Mhm.
actually World Awareness Day of Elderly Abuse, which is then one of why we have chosen June 15th to actually do our Aging in Cayman Forum, at which time we'll be talking about more of these issues, how to grow old, I guess, gracefully and actively and healthily
And happily.
and
Wonderful.
happily.
Yes, so I see Mr. Crawford here with a big stack of green bananas, and I should say he's got more fruit trees than I know what to do with. But he also, talk about how older persons can take care of themselves.
Yes.
He walks with his wife; they're avid walkers, so they go walking all the time in the neighborhood. He's got pets, so we know, for example, that having especially dogs in your life is really, really key to staying young as well. Like pets actually help you. Having a good social network and being able to go out with friends and family members and interact, all part of some of the things that really make an older person's life amazing. So we have Miss Aline. She's the orchid whisperer at age 73. So beautiful.
Isn't she? I'm particularly proud of this one.
Absolutely. Love it. So tell us, Erica, why you're so proud of this particular one.
Well, this particular young lady, this is my mother, Miss Elaine Young.
Right?
She's a Kimambracker, but she's been living in Georgetown for a few decades, and she has been active with her plants from before I've known myself properly.
Yeah.
And she's still going very strong today. She's teaching all of us things about plants that even though you thought when you were growing up was boring, you realize now there's so much to experience, so much to fall in love with. And there's just so many things about nature, and it keeps her fit, keeps her friends fit. They're fitter than most of us. So we just want more of our seniors to just develop their passions and continue to spread that knowledge on to us younger ones.
Absolutely. And then we have Miss Lucille Seymour, who's now 79.
Yes, our chairperson.
Yes, intergenerational bonding is a whole vibe, it says here. Something that we were speaking about a little bit earlier as well.
Yes, and I was going to mention that we as a government has found this to be such an important thing, that one of the programs that has been developed is the intergenerational hub, which I'm not sure if a lot of people know about, but it's behind Foster's. So and it's the youth services is actually housed in there. And the idea of that hub is to have that intergenerational bonding. To have activities where seniors and younger persons are sharing a space, sharing ideas, sharing activities.
Beautiful. And I mean, I don't think I've ever even heard of this hub. So I think that maybe some more efforts just to inform people of what the hub does and where it's located and how they can, do people just show up? Well, what are the hours? How does it work?
So they have particular sessions. So I know for a fact that on a Tuesday and a Thursday, they have fitness sessions. So at 10 o'clock on Tuesday, persons can show up, or they can actually contact the sports department, and then they will register them for these sessions. So they do that on a Tuesday, and I think they do Tai Chi on a Thursday, for example, and then from time to time they'll have different types of sessions, whether it's gardening, whether it's some sort of educational thing. They have a sewing room there that people can go into. So I think they're open between 9 and 4. But if people want, they can actually just call the intergenerational hub and then make arrangements from there.
Very good. All right, folks. So this is an amazing opportunity. Again, intergenerational bonding is a whole vibe. And I absolutely agree that our young people can learn so many important things, or history or culture, even just how to be kind in a different kind of way, because the world has changed. Between a 79-year-old and a 5 or 6-year-old, there's so many things that have changed. And it's quite a unique experience for a younger person to still have access to a senior in their life. So try to make that a regular part of, just their development as well, because it's good for them.
Exactly. And there's actually a grandparents' day, I think. I'm not even sure which
Mhm.
month it is, but I remember seeing that and
On the
I'm like, why
calendar.
isn't that a big thing, you know?
Yeah. Yes,
We
yes,
have
yeah.
to make it more.
Absolutely, absolutely. So it's October the 6th in the UK, and the US probably has a slightly different date, but yeah, very nice.
Yes,
Uh,
all of October we are celebrating away.
yeah,
But
fantastic.
just closer to that, June 15th, Carlene, you want to tell them
Mhm.
about our first ever aging forum?
Right.
Mhm,
So on the 15th of June, as I said, that is recognized by the UN, recognized as World Awareness Day for the elderly abuse and neglect. So we
mhm,
have chosen that day to actually have a Aging in Cayman Islands forum, the first time ever. And it's going to be at the Servant Vassal Johnson Hall, which is at UCCI. It's
mhm,
free to the public and
Mhm.
everybody is welcome, people of all ages, because as we said before, we hope to get there. So
mhm,
whether you're 25 or whether you're 45 or 65, we want to
mhm,
see persons there because it's how do we prepare for older age and be as healthy and vibrant as possible.
Mhm.
And so we have a lineup of presenters, which will
mhm,
include our keynote speaker, Fiona McDougall, who is the owner and director of Healthy Futures Limited, which is a business that looks at all things health, essentially. We
Mhm.
also have Dr. Sanju Gupta from Health City,
mm,
who will be presenting on changing lifestyles and behaviors of aging.
mhm,
We'll be looking some other topics that different persons will present on are preparing your home for aging as well as aging in the community.
mhm,
And so we expect to have, persons from the medical field, persons
Mhm.
in the financial field, persons who are in occupational therapy, for example.
mhm,
And we're also inviting companies that and organizations which actually have services for older persons. We're also
mhm,
inviting them to actually exhibit at the forum,
Mhm.
and we have been lucky enough to get quite a number of sponsors,
mhm,
including CMR and a number of others. And we're very, very happy for the input that they have given
Mhm.
to make this possible.
We are. Thank you.
wonderful. We do have some comments from our listeners, and about 300 people tuned into the show this morning. So let's read some of those comments. Those are just on social media. Tons more in radio. Ms. Wanda says, I hope that they're organizing programs for older people. They have a huge place on McClendon Drive, I
Mhm.
believe, where they can put on classes and games for these people. Mhm.
So clearly,
Yes.
Wanda knew about the
Just about to,
intergenerational hub.
yes.
Yes. Siobhan says, love it. The older folks should not be forgotten about.
All right,
Dr.
Siobhan.
Zulu says inclusivity is key. Happy to hear that there's an initiative to let the elders feel included in Cayman's development. Ms. Pat says one of the greatest resources in Cayman is our retired civil servants. Look
Mhm.
at years of knowledge and experience that is underutilized. She also says at 65 and living my best life.
Wow, lovely, Miss Pat.
Ingrid says this is a very good topic this morning because I've noticed lots of people have been applying for jobs, and the first thing they look at is their year of birth. Age
Mhm.
is just a number. If the person is healthy and knowledgeable, they shouldn't be refused.
Mhm.
So, encouraging employers to obviously think about, um, hiring elder people as well. Miss Marion, good morning to you. Darlene says some or most of the time, it all depends on who you are. You can get the opportunity to work after retirement, sick or not sick. Mhm.
Mhm.
Dominique was impressed with those bananas in the photo with Mr. Crawford. Um, he says that looks like at least 100
100.
bananas. Good morning to Miss Linda and Paul, both joining us from Bermuda this morning, one of our sister islands there in the Caribbean. He's wondering if the bananas are real. Dominique,
They
Yes,
sure
they
are.
are.
I may have gotten a couple of them, so I can attest they are.
Yeah, Mr. Crawford has quite the hand. All of his stuff are
yeah, he's
really
And
got
he
strong.
has
a
he
green
has
thumb.
entered in the agricultural show and won a couple of times for different things. So those are
Mhm.
real.
Yeah, for sure. Miss Lucille says, what I would love those council to put in place is abuse to older persons. Some of these young people have no respect for us. There's a lot of mental abuse and other, and also treating financial abuse. The council needs to put things in place. So what is, this is a good question, really. What is in place to help to protect our seniors from elder abuse?
Well, from a place of prevention, and also where persons can report, this Department of Children and Family Services actually has a elder persons team. So if there is concern that somebody is being abused, somebody is being neglected, the persons can call Department of Children and Family Services 949-0290, I think is the number. And they will then go out, do an assessment, and make the necessary referral. So if it is a police matter that needs to happen, an investigation that needs to happen, then they will take that on. So in regards to that.
And in terms of sorry, sorry, frog in my throat. In terms of fiscal abuse, especially with the Age Forum, we're going to have different topics on how to write a will, how to put other things in place, financial planning, mental health planning, give persons the knowledge that they need, because oftentimes you just don't know where to go for the help. You don't know who to speak to. How can I make sure that no one can abuse my finances? So we're going to give those options and put everything out there so persons know who to talk to and where the help is.
Right.
And one of the things that we have advocated for, actually, with like the Bankers Association, for example, is that exact topic. How do we ensure that persons are not being abused financially? What are the things that we can put in place? So those conversations are ongoing. And hopefully at some point there will either be legislation that puts things in place, or, individual organizations can, put regulations in place that helps in that respect.
And there have been other private entities as well that have been pretty good. The Civil Service Credit Union last year, they put on quite a few different classes on, how to make yourself more computer friendly, how to do online banking, how to get more familiar with using computers. And that was good. And a lot of older persons attended and they found it very helpful. So we're doing all these things to make the older persons still feel like they can still go out there and manage. It's not just about the young persons.
And I think the important thing, Sandy, is for people to understand that although, yes, the council is established and we advocate, it's all of our personal responsibility to ensure that the persons in our lives, in the community, still feel valued.
Yes.
So it's not about, what is the government doing? Yes, there is an older person's policy and there are specific responsibilities in there for the government, but it's each of us taking that individual responsibility to care for somebody else, because hopefully, as we said, one day we are going to get there.
Yes.
And how do we want to be treated when we reach that age?
And these are conversations you should be having with your representatives. Election time is coming. I'm not making this political, but you need to say to them, what are we putting in place for our older persons? And we're not just putting this burden on government. The private sector also needs to be asked these questions.
Absolutely. And, there's a lot, I think of, even Walmart had the initiative and they still do it with the older persons being the ones who are preferred for door greeter positions and, checking receipts and stuff like that. So there's definitely, as you rightfully said, both private sector and public sector and government policy can do a lot more. So I've just shared an email address if you know of anyone who might need some assistance that is elderly. DCF has an email address here, dcfelderlyservices@gov.ky. You can reach out to them. And, I agree that it is our collective and individual responsibilities. If you see something going on with an elder person, to try to reach out to appropriate agencies. If you feel like the family members might be taking advantage of them, that is the right thing to do. You never know. I was reading just yesterday on Facebook. I kind of came across something that was kind of interesting. It's like one of those Dear Abby platforms. And this person was saying, Dear Abby, my 77-year-old mom claims that she's in a relationship with her caregiver, who's a married man with like 44 or something like that. And it was so interesting that a lot of the comments actually said, it's probably not what your mom thinks. This might be early stage dementia. And I hadn't even thought of, when I first saw the title, I thought, oh, this is going to be quite a salacious story, folks. And then as I continued reading, literally most of the comments were like, I had an elderly parent who went through that. You need to have them medically checked out, because this could be an indication that this person has, early stage dementia, like that's their caregiver, but they're confusing that person with somebody else, or they're attaching emotions to them because they see them every day. And, now they're sharing the story. So don't take it lightly that, oh, this is just a relationship. There's probably something else that's going on here. So also thinking about the mental well-being of, our elder community. And dementia can start way before 65. And oftentimes there are signs of it. And so we should all be cognizant and paying attention.
We should. Anything that you see your family member or a friend just acting differently, whether it be they're something as simple as they're not hearing well, or like you said, they have a boyfriend that might seem a little bit odd, they should be taken to their practitioner. We have several geriatricians on island now. They should be taken, get a full workup just to make sure that it's not a mild or potentially more serious cognitive issue.
Wonderful. Right. So Shaka says, I think it's not enough of a deterrent in terms of laws, needs to be enhanced to show that abuse of elders carries additional punishment, etc. We do have a caller on the line. Good morning, caller. Oops. Hello? No? Okay.
But in relation to that, one of the things that is actually being looked at now is the older person's law itself and enhancing that. So we're looking at the legislative reviews to see how we can strengthen that. And also if there needs to be a separate law that covers older person's abuse essentially by itself.
Yes.
But I think too, just to say that sometimes even when there is the legal remedies, the older person themselves sometimes don't necessarily use it, because in a financial situation, for example, there is already a law that is in place that talks about, essentially younger persons should be taking care of their family members. But we see it a number of times where, the older person may sign off their land to one of their grandchildren, and they're not taking care of them necessarily, but yet the older person does not want to go through the court process to say this is happening. So legislation is not always the answer. It's an important factor, and the structures need to be in place. But yes, I think that again, it's responsibility on both sides.
Yeah, we need a lot more support for the older persons. Because sometimes there's feeling of shame associated with that, and they don't want this to come to light out of embarrassment.
Of course, absolutely. So Shaka Zulu, thanks for those comments. Miss Darlene says older persons get retired still going strong and not even being asked by their management in their workplace if they wish to continue working because the management wants to get rid of them. Worse is if they're against all wrongdoings and corruption in the workplace. Miss Sue says we need a retirement community here so everyone can mix, dance, and have lots of fun and things. Is it a good idea? What is the research showing? I mean, obviously in the States, they do have retirement homes and stuff like that. But is there any sort of research, Dr. Erica, about sort of separating older folks into just hanging out with other older folks? There's a good research that shows, have them mixed with everybody, if they want to go to.
The research is more supportive of more inclusivity. So don't just keep all the older persons together. They want to mix. So the more different age groups, the better for them, the more interaction.
But just to say to Ms. Sue's comment that although we may not have a full retirement community in one place, there are activities that happen for older persons, whether it is a community group that does activities. I know, for example, in East End, there is a exercise class that is run by the district, the community development officer for East End, that she organizes. And there are a number of churches. My own church, Savannah United, for example, has a older persons group. And just last week, they went on a trip to Crystal Caves. So there are places where you can still connect with older persons for those sorts of activities. And we also encourage older persons to get into the places where it's not labeled as this is an older person's activity, but find yourself in there. As Miss Lucille would say, she's going to be in places where you don't expect her to be, for example.
Yeah.
But
So
it is
even, go ahead.
yeah. No, but I'm saying, but it is an excellent idea, and we do need more of these activities. I mean, it's not just the older persons who want activities; as those slightly younger as well want different things. You want to be able to go and meet and greet and learn new skills, do new activities. So that would be excellent. Kim and Brack also has a society. Carlene, do you remember the name of theirs? That
I
Yeah,
do
they have
remember it, but
activities.
Miss
Miss Anna Rose, yes, she's
Annie Rose
gonna,
is very, very active
yes,
in leading that
they
group
do
there.
different things.
Yep. And we have, in fact, right now as we speak, we have a group that's in Panama with Miss Ramelia and them. That's part of her Mankind committee. They organize a number of events for members of, and I'm going to show you guys a picture in here in just a second. But yes, they organize a number of events for, they take them to Cayman Brac, they take them to day tours here on island as well. So they're living their best life in Panama as we speak.
Love it. While we're toiling. We're here toiling away.
Absolutely.
And I
We've
know
got
the
Miss
Georgetown
Darlene.
seniors, also have a very active group,
Oh,
which
hi.
is led
Yes,
by
good
the
afternoon,
community
everyone.
development officer there.
I'm so glad that this is
Sorry, Miss
being-
Darlene. Miss Darlene, one second. Yeah, go ahead. Miss Carlene was still speaking.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah, I'm so glad that this has been coming out now that the older, the seniors or whatever we want to call is getting this happen. Um I know here one of the things that I see here in the UK that I thought was so different was that, of course, they got little walking groups and stuff. And these are people all 90 years old. My best friend over here, she's 92, and she does everything that me, myself, I mean, I'm disabled, so she's even better than me. But one thing that I see is that the community that we live in, they have like a bus that they pick you up because I think people independence is so important. So every Tuesday, the seniors in our area, there's a access bus and disabled can go to, and they take us over or the shopping center to the mall. They can do their own little shopping, and that's a sense of pride for them because rather than somebody go out and do their shopping and stuff. I know we are on a much smaller scale, and we may have that help or that support with us and within our family and stuff like that. But I always see like they all look so forward, men and women, on that Tuesday that we pick them up and take them to whichever shop that we're going to that day. And the fact that they can go out there and spend their little money and buy the things that they want. So kudos to that. Well, I didn't get the first part of the show, but I'm very happy. And I would love to see this now done across the island for disabled people because we have an issue back home with being disabled and we don't get the support. Very little support is there. And as you know, that's my reason for moving to the UK because it was such a situation. So thanks, ladies, and I wish all the best with what they're doing.
Thank you so
God
much.
bless.
Thank
All
you,
right, Miss
Darlene.
Darlene, thank you so much.
Thank you.
So I wanted to share a few pictures of our seniors in Panama. There they are.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Lovely.
quite a
Very
large
good.
group having a fabulous time going and seeing all of this sites there. There they are. Of course, wearing their Keyman shirts, proud.
Very
So
cool.
beautiful. Yes.
Yeah, we
And
need to see more of that. Oh,
yes, absolutely. And I'm sure Mr. Amelia, when she comes back, and everybody else is going to tell us all the details of the trip. But they're having a fantastic time. I got some reports yesterday.
Very
Um,
nice.
and someone just wanted to share that they have an exercise class on Wednesdays in Bodden Town at the church hall. That's Mr. Rose's church. And they do other social activities as well on a monthly basis. And
excellent.
also Miss Dorothy with the Dementia Association. I know that she's
Adachi.
very,
Yes.
very active.
This
Right,
is what
and
we need more
they
of.
will be one of the organizations that will actually be at the forum as well. So where people can come to the forum to learn more about the available resources in Cayman. The forum will run from 8:30 until 3, and there will be lunch provided and snacks throughout the day. So we encourage people to come and learn more, and so that we'll be better off at the end of the day.
Yes, because
You
we'd
know.
love some feedback from our people as well. Tell me, what are we missing? What else do we need to be advocating for? We want to hear your voices, your thoughts, your
Okay.
complaints. Come and
Yes.
tell
So
us.
how can they reach out to the Council of Older Persons? What are your contact details?
So the
Well, we-
council can be reached at our website, as we said before, is gov.ky/older persons council, and we can be also reached by email, which is olderpersons@gov.ky.
Wonderful. All right, folks. So reach out. Paul says in Bermuda, we have Age Concern, ageconcern.bm, a charity that helps assist our senior population. So I think we've got groups here that are working, and of course the Council of Older Persons will help bring some of those initiatives together so that if you're a person who, needs to provide information or assistance to someone who is a senior, that there's different agencies and organizations who are trying to improve the overall life and well-being of all of our seniors. So thank you so much, ladies.
Thank you.
That's Dr. Erica Simmons joining us as a member of the Older Persons Council. She is a medical doctor as well. And then Miss Carlene Bramwell, who is here with the ministry, providing some very, very useful information here from the Ministry of Sustainability and Climate Resilience. She's part of the Gender Diversity and Equality team, the Gender Affairs Unit specifically. So thank you, ladies, so much this morning for joining us.
Thank you for having us, Nandis.
Right.
Thank you for your listeners and for all the feedback. We really appreciate it.
Yep, absolutely. Siobhan says, thanks, ladies. All the best.
Thanks.
See you all on the 15th of June. UCCI Hall, 8:30.
8:30. Come and get your breakfast and your lunch.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you. Bye.
All right, folks. So we're going to take a quick little break and then we're going to switch gears. I see everybody is paying attention in class this morning. So proud of you guys. Everybody's going to get an A+ today. I got some tea. I see Miss Stacy hooked me up with some tea this morning. Let me see what kind of tea we've got. I don't even know. It looks like pomegranate tea. So again, a big shout out to all of the elders and seniors in our community who are, living their best life, because as our guest said, trust me, it is a privilege denied to many to reach at 65. So we're looking forward to one day getting there. Let's take a quick commercial break, folks. We'll be right back after these messages.
Do you own a 1996 to 2016 Honda vehicle? There is an ongoing urgent safety recall regarding faulty Takata airbag inflators in Honda vehicles in the Cayman Islands. As affected vehicles get older, a combination of high temperatures and humidity can affect airbag inflators with the fault. If you're involved in a collision, the airbag can go off with too much explosive force, causing sharp metal fragments to shoot out and kill or seriously injure people in the vehicle. To check whether your vehicle is affected, go to HondaCayman.com/recalls. Honda will replace any defective airbag inflators completely free of charge. Contact the Car City service team to arrange this. Please take the time to check if your vehicle is affected by this urgent safety recall by going to HondaCayman.com/recalls now.
Ocean Ridge Heights offers an amazing opportunity to own a piece of land in idyllic Cayman Brac, right on the bluff, starting from $80,000. Located in a quiet residential area with high elevation, these lots are ideal for a future home or investment property and are sure to go fast. Cayman Brac offers a laid-back lifestyle, amazing pristine diving, limestone caves, diverse flora, along with amazing wildlife. Inquire about the owner financing options so that you can secure your piece of paradise today. With only a few lots remaining, these are sure to go before you know it. Contact Crichton Properties today on 345-949-5250 or info@crichtonproperties.com.
All right, folks. So welcome back. Welcome back. Everybody's doing well. Sounds fantastic. Someone says, I'm listening. That was a great segment. Great to hear that CMR is sponsoring as well. Walk the talk. Absolutely. All right. So we are going to switch gears and bring some other guests on the program who are going to be talking about a food recycling program. That sounds a bit interesting. So let me first introduce our guests. We have Sandy. Are you ready, Sandy?
Yes, I am.
Good morning. Sandy is joining us. He is the Chief Operating Officer for Beacon Farms, which is a nonprofit organization that provides jobs in agriculture for Caymanians in recovery from drug and alcohol abuse. Now, Sandy, I know I've got you on my list, to talk to you. We're going to do a one-on-one interview here soon to kind of get us up to speed with what you've been doing with Beacon Farms. I know it's a lot of amazing stuff, but give us a little bit of history, just on yourself and how you got involved in Beacon Farms.
Well, pretty simple, really. The directors of the charity asked me if I'd like to help try and turn what is a wonderful idea into basically a sustainable financial business. Mm-hmm. And about 4 years ago, I joined the foundation, and we've been working ever since. Mm-hmm. Two objectives, but the primary one is a social one. We employ addicts in recovery, and currently we have staff of 11. We'd like to double that if we could get the funding. And the second part of it is that everybody works on the farm, close to the soil, in research and development agriculture. So we're doing things on the farm that have not been done on the same scale before in the country. Mm-hmm. It's really exciting. It's a wonderful project.
Yes.
And as we're going to talk about this morning with my partners, Woody and Jason, this is another one of the projects that we're involved in, which has an impact on food security in the longer term.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. All right. Thank you so much. We've got Woody Foster joining us as well. He's the managing director of the Foster's Group, which has 6 supermarkets across Grand Cayman. And Woody is involved in a lot of, community work and NPO work across the island. So good morning, sir. How are you?
Morning, Sandy. How are you? Really well.
I'm doing very well.
Morning, Woody.
I don't think you need much of an introduction, but most of us know precisely who you are. You're synonymous. I know you do so much more, but definitely when we think of Foster's Supermarket, you were synonymous with that. And we're going to get into the details of this latest initiative. But one of the things, Woody, that you've been involved in for many, many years, a lot of people might not remember this, is actually the food bank. So, that's something that's, very, very important in terms of offering assistance to people who need it through those pantries and, the food bank in general.
It's unfortunate that we need it, but we do.
Yes. All right. We also have Jason Brown joining us from Island Waste Carriers. He operates a fleet of 15 trucks to collect and transport waste. And these 3 gentlemen have gotten together and they're kicking off a new initiative for food recycling. So tell us a little bit, whoever wants to answer this question, what is exactly this food recycling program all about?
Sandy.
Okay, well, I'll start. It's basically the objective is to collect the unconsumable waste from Foster's supermarkets to start with. The primary project started with Woody and Foster's, and we collect the completely non-edible green waste from the backs of the supermarket at the airport And that's where we really started. And Jason and IWC transport it to the farm, where we add brown waste, which is organic waste that has completely dead and hasn't got a great deal of nutrient value to it. We put that together with the fresh green waste that we get from Foster's, and we put it in a huge smoothie blender in our static aeration compost facility, and we create compost. Primarily, we're in a research and development stage as a project, really. I would call it at that scale. And this month, we're increasing the volume by adding the Fosters at Camana Bay and then the Fosters in Lower Valley. The objective at the end of the day is to create sufficient compost to be able to sell it at a very reasonable price to the rest of the island. But that's a long way down the road, as these two guys will probably tell you.
Okay. So what is defined as non-consumable product? Like what is that food waste exactly? What does that look like?
So it's mostly produce. It's leftover produce. So there's no proteins. There's nothing that we need to worry about with that. Because we spoke with Department of Environmental Health, and they've been involved in this as well in terms of how we do this properly. So it's like watermelon rinds and old produce that, it can't really do anything more with it. Stuff that we sometimes give to pig farmers and things like that. So in this case, it would go to the garbage. So now it's going to produce something useful. So creating value out of non-value.
Right. Okay. All right. So you talk about, Sandy, that you did a trial period. How long was that trial period with the Foster's Airport location?
Well, we started last August, and we've just literally this month added 2 more supermarkets.
Okay.
We're really cautious about how we launch this project. And, the idea is that we're cautious in the sense that we don't want to contaminate the green waste that we're importing with plastics, etc. So there's a great deal of work in the background that Woody's staff have undertaken to ensure that everybody's trained up to understand what it is that we can accept at the farm, and the same with Jason's staff. We want to roll it out very thoughtfully, very slowly, in order that it becomes sustainable and it remains sustainable.
Okay. All right. So tell us a little bit now. So Beacon Farms, in case people don't know anything about it, one of the main things that you do is actually making compost at your aeration compost facility. So what exactly is that? And there might be some people who are listening this morning who don't even know this is a one of a kind facility in the entire Caribbean. But what is compost? A lot of people may have no clue what that is.
The compost is it's basically organic material that is biodegraded and has depending on the quality of the compost, can range from quite low nutrient value to incredibly high intense nuclear, almost like a nuclear bomb. You put this wonderful fresh green waste into your static aeration composting facility, and through that, at a very short period of time, you're able to create compost. Now, static aeration compost facilities, very simple, really. It's the controlled use of compressed air underneath a pile of compost. The basic engineering. So with compressors, we trickle feed air up through the compost, which is piled up on top of it. And that accelerates the natural process of biodegrading your organic waste. So instead of taking up to 6 months to create compost, you can create the beginnings of your compost in 17 to 20 days with a further period of curing of probably 6 to 8 to 10 weeks. So you're compressing that time period simply through controlled use of air, which goes on to that also the heat of the compost gets up to a controlled period, about 160 degrees, and that kills the seeds and it kills any pathogens that you would have in the compost. Killing seeds, for example, is great because if you're spreading compost that's got lots of weeds in it and weed seeds, you end up with weeds all over your garden at a faster period of time than you would like. So accelerating that temperature and holding it at a certain level for a given period of time kills the pathogens, and it also kills the seeds. So, but we take guests. We love people coming up to visit the farm, and our primary days for visiting are Tuesdays and Thursdays in the morning at 11 o'clock, and you can join a group there. Adult ticket is $12, and child is $5, and special rates for school visits. And we love the schools and children coming up to see what we're doing on the farm. It's an open invitation to everybody to come up and see what we're about. You included.
Yes. It's been a couple years now, I think, that I haven't been by. So I need to come in and sit down, have a chat with you, and visit again, because I'm sure you've done a lot since I've been there. But it's very fascinating to see what's happening there at the farm for sure. So let's talk a little bit. And again, you've got a goal of trying to sell the Beacon Farms mulch and compost by the end of the year. And these are all initiatives to help to make Beacon Farms completely self-sustainable. Is that correct?
Yes. Our objective is through different revenue streams, including ecotourism, agricultural produce. We have a small factory that produces bottled goods, like cold pressed coconut oil, lip balms, all sorts of hot sauces, jellies, etc., soaps, and so on. So through the different revenue streams, we hope that by the end of 2027, we will still be dependent, but by a very small margin, conservatively, that is.
Yes. So. All right, let's speak to Woody a little bit here about what Foster's has been up to. So, we hear people sort of conceptually, Woody, talk about this all the time. They have a concept of, wow, it seems like food goes to waste, especially the cooked food, maybe on, your cooked food or salad bar area. So tell us what Foster's approach has been when it comes to reducing food waste, and why a program like this can be, a good partnership.
Well, this is sort of end of the line. So obviously we have to, it's always interesting, and it depends on who you're speaking to when we talk about it, because everybody wants fresh food cooked, like for this morning, this lunchtime, this evening. Nobody wants anything moved over yet. To do that would be to cook it to perfection, to know exactly how much you're going to need, and that's obviously impossible. However, then whatever's left, then it goes to waste, and you have a different set of people that say, oh, well, that's terrible, that shouldn't be wasted. And so there's always this conflict of how we manage that. But we are able to use our delis and salad bars as a means of reducing food waste, because if you look at our produce offering, it can't stay there, indefinitely, obviously. And we don't know how much we're going to sell. So when it starts to, it's been there for a little bit of time, we have to then rotate it off the line, and it's still edible. We do use it in our salad bars. We use it in our delis to help to get rid of food waste. Then after that, now we have to decide, well, now what are we going to do? And it's at this point now where we do the separation between our proteins and our green waste, and the proteins, whatever's left, just needs to then go to the garbage. And the green waste, again, which is produce, that then goes into the bins to get ready for Jason and his crew to come and pick up. And that's where Sandy was talking about. There's a little bit of logistics that we have to do in terms of separation to make sure that there's nothing that goes in there that isn't able to go into the process. So no plastics, no rubber bands, no cardboard, no whatever. And while that sounds relatively simple, it's just that we have so many people dealing with it, and we also have a lot of turnover because we're in a entry level type of operation. You're constantly having to train and do the right thing, and so it's is kept in one specific area, in a refrigerated area. So it takes up some refrigerated space. So if you leave it outside of refrigeration, Sandy's not picking it up every day. So then it starts to deteriorate and become another problem, because you have to watch out for pests and those things. So you don't want those little guys coming anywhere. So it all has to stay refrigerated and taken care of. And so when Jason's guys come to collect it, then we then take a look at it, make sure everything is okay, and then he can tell you how it goes from there.
Yes. So Jason, you're the third leg of this this sort of tri-party partnership here.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning, and thanks again for having us.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd say, boy, Mr. Woody had a great vision when he approached us about the project, and no pun intended, everything organically came together. And we've been working together. And as Mr. Sandy rightly said before, our approach has been very much a crawl, walk, run. Anything that you're going to do well, you have to really take your time, because I think it's of the utmost importance that the end product that Sandy produces is of top class. And every step, every cog on the wheel is super important. So we've put in a lot of work on our end with our expertise, working with the Foster's team in meetings and doing, onboard training in terms of, what's prohibited, what can be put in. We've provided them with sealed, purposed bins that can be locked as well and unlocked to make sure that nothing foreign gets in there that would contaminate the load. And our team at our end, logistically, we stay in close contact with Foster's. Our operations teams are in constant contact, and we're making sure to inspect the loads upon collection. And we're making sure that when we deliver, we then inspect again, because obviously the loads turn, material moves, and we have the ability to inspect the load and sometimes intercept any foreign objects. Somebody may have thrown a plastic bottle in there, and that can create quite the problem.
Wow.
So
yes,
it is simple to say just separate your produce and throw it in this bin, but I think, as we all know in life, what is easy to do is also easy not to do. And sometimes this is almost like exercise. We're practicing a new skill and getting everybody accustomed to it. So I think if it's something that's rushed and grown too quickly, that's where the problems start. And what we're trying to start is one facility at a time, training, measuring, testing, and so that we can successfully grow the program. And as you can see there on IWC's side, we invested in a little truck to support the program, and bins that are purposed for this sort of operation. So
so yes, I mean, IWC is in the waste management business, which includes the collection and sorting of a range of recyclable materials. And so it's so fantastic, Jason, to see that you've gotten on board with this. And this is the truck then at Beacon's Farm, looks like.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So how's it been going so far with the trial run?
I think predominantly well. I think all the material that we've hauled to date has been repurposed. We've had nothing that's had to be rejected or turned away, which is fantastic news. We've had to do a little bit of on-site sorting, which happens from time to time, and then we communicate, obviously with the various operations teams at Foster's and Beacon, and when they catch anything, they communicate to us, and we've kept it very tight knit. Because obviously the quality of the end product is of utmost importance. And we think if we can, it's a cultural change, recycling is, and slowly but surely, if we can, expand more knowledge and education on the subject, we're better poised to grow this throughout the community over time.
Beautiful. All right. So, is there anything that the community can do to assist you all in your efforts? I mean, you know, Sandy, Woody, Jason, we know it's always all hands on deck whenever possible. Is there anything that you need to make this partnership successful that maybe someone's sitting there going, this sounds like a fantastic idea and I want to be, you know, part of this initiative?
I think not necessarily the community at large, but I think what we'll need, I say we, but Beacon really is to get partners on the corporate side who are willing to either invest or because there is a cost, right? So Jason, buying a truck and doing those deliveries isn't for free.
Yeah.
We have to pay for that, right? So at that point, you then, you know, us as a company say, well, do we really want to? This is just an added cost for us because it's easy to just throw it in the garbage. That's the end of it. We don't have to worry about it anymore. But now, you know, we have to get Jason. We have to pay for the deliveries up there. So I think we're looking for partners who know the value of what we're doing and who are willing to put in the effort and have the patience to chug along in the infancy of this to build it into a strong program. But it's better for our landfill. It's producing something at Beacon, which I don't think gets enough credit for what they are doing up there. So it's actually, as I said earlier, it's taking something of no value and turning it into value. And that's pretty exciting stuff, right? So how do we pick that apart and turn that into all of its components? And then how do we find the people who are willing to do that, whether it's the hotels or other restaurants, or because that's really where we want to get to.
Yeah, absolutely. Sandy?
Well, I just think Woody summed it up really perfectly. Other than to say for us, you know, we receive a fair amount of funding for operational for projects, but where people, as with all charities, people are, you know, to be honest, less interested in funding the operations and maintenance of a business. And while we're going through the development of our different revenue streams, we are dependent on donations from the community. And as an addition to what Woody was saying, you know, anybody who would like to donate to Beacon Farms to keep the charity going in order that we can support a program like this until it actually does become financially viable would be terrific. You know, and you can do that on our website for a start, or just directly at the farm. Our website is www.beaconfarmscayman.org. So, you know, that's really where we're at right now. We're always looking for funding for the operations of the farm, especially just like any startup. You know, we're a young startup and we require supporting.
Wonderful. All right, folks. So we're always talking about, you know, sustainable solutions and thinking out of the box and trying to do something a little bit different. This is one of those initiatives. So, you know, locally grown produce is so important. I know Woody supports local farmers wherever he can, making their products available at their various Foster's locations. So, you know, having compost that you can then turn around and use for the fresh produce that you're also trying to make available to the community. It's very circular and makes total sense. Damien has a question. He says, good morning. Is there an issue with herbicides and pesticides in the skins and rinds and the process leaching into the soil? So any concerns there?
Well, a very quick answer to that is that there's no more concern with that than there is for any other agricultural produce on the island currently. And I would refer a question like that back to the agricultural department for a more specific answer.
Okay.
But yeah.
Yeah. All right. Siobhan says, very informative. Thanks. Selena, good morning. So good to see all of you still here and paying attention. So is there anything else that we need to know about this project? You know, the program is, you know,
I think that the timing of the show is very timely. The 5th of May to the 11th of May is International Compost Awareness Week. So I think that's great. That and I'd just like to echo some of Woody and Sandy's sentiments in terms of supporting the Beacon Farms. It's a fantastic cause. And also they have great products that I've used myself. Their coconut oil is great. Their soaps are great.
The lip balm, yes.
Yeah, any way that you can support them, 100%. And obviously in future, as we look to grow the program, hopefully other businesses and facilities that generate larger amounts of food waste will be interested in talking to us. And hopefully, as we grow, we become more prepared to engage with others that wish to participate. So that's something to consider in the future.
All right, we do have a caller to the program. Good morning, caller.
Good morning. I just want to hear this little bit with them. I don't know if it's me. Hello.
Yes, hi. Morning.
Morning. I don't know if this is in a while you to one, but I just wanted to share this. Maybe they don't know, but concerning the watermelon rind, you don't have to dispose of that. You can stew that, and that is very delicious.
Oh yeah. What kind of stew? Like to drink it, or what do you make it into?
Listen to me. I don't know if you all heard of green stewed papaya. Listen. I don't know if you all heard of green stewed papaya. My grandmother used to peel the green papayas and stew it down. You can do the same thing with the watermelon rind, and you can even bottle that and put it. If you got sweet tooth, like you like a sweet dessert or something, you stew the watermelon rind. You take it. I don't throw mine away. Any watermelon I buy, I stew it. I had some up a couple of days ago.
Yes.
And you just eat out the red, but you don't bite it with your mouth.
Yes.
You just cut it with a knife because you're going to stew it, right? I cut the red out with a knife, and then you peel the back, but the rind needs to be kind of thicker. Some of the rind be thicker than others, some be thin. But the thicker the better. Okay, you peel that green skin off of the back, and then you wash it and put it in a pot with water and bring it to a boil. And then you throw that first water off. Then you put it back. You add your sugar to how sweet you gonna want it, and just put in a bit of vanilla extract and a bit of red food coloring, and you just let it stew down till it get like thick gravy, just like how it was stew plums or something, and that is very delicious. And then another suggestion I got to Woody, not like all that, that people are poor and people are hurting with the food stuff from the they wouldn't have to throw away so much food if they would reduce the price of the food around like 6:30, 7 o'clock, because people will buy it if it's half price or something, and that way they wouldn't have to throw away so much, because that food is really expensive per pound. Because the other day I had one little bit of black beans from the can, one little bit of rice, and about 3 pieces of fried plantain, and that was like almost $9. That's very expensive because rice is cheap. And the beans are the bush beans from the can, because I do them sometimes. So if they reduce, like how they do the pastry at night, they put the old pastry, they put like 6 pastries for $2.99. If they reduce some of that, they would do a lot better, because how I learned it, somebody tell me, all like the sandwiches and stuff.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
Buy them, because one guy introduced me to it, and he said that's what he used to do. He used to go after hours at night when Foster get there before closing time. They reduce the sandwich and they buy a bunch for lunch next day and stuff. So if they reduce food, because 7 something for a pound of food is very expensive, and people are hurting, plenty of people are poor.
Okay. Thank you, caller. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. So some recommendations there for you, Woody.
Learn something new every day.
Yeah, you'll take it on board. Well, I know about the sandwiches for sure, because sometimes I go there late in the evening. I'm like, oh, grab a sandwich. So good stuff. All right, folks. Again, we want to thank this group here for joining us this morning. This is Beacons Farms in a collaboration with Foster's, Mr. Woody and Jason from IWC, that's Island Waste Carriers. And by the way, I'm going to give Jason a little bit of a shameless plug this morning, a big shout out. He has the the garbage containers, I know we're doing the whole bulk waste thing where you can take your bulk items and put them out by the side of the road, and DEH will pick them up. But sometimes in between those pickups, you actually need to do a little spring cleaning or summer cleaning or winter cleaning or whatever. And you can call IWC at any time, and they'll drop off the bin for you. You let them know, how long you're going to need it for, and you can throw all your stuff in there, call them back, and they'll pick it up. And it's very, very easy. The pricing is good. I can't remember the pricing now, but it was good. And it's really seamless. So we had a project going on late last year that we needed a bin for. And yeah, they did drop off. We threw all the, stuff in there and left it up to Jason and his team to do the rest.
Thank you very much for that shameless plug, Miss Sandy.
And
we appreciate that.
Absolutely. And Jason, let people know, by the way, how they can reach your team.
Yeah, we're contactable through our website, iwc.ky, short and sweet.
Yep.
We're also contactable at 946-3867 or 946-DUMP.
Right. Wonderful. And just on the topic of composting, we can all do something ourselves, like at home. So we have a little composting machine. Miss Stacy knows, like, any leftover vegetable matter, peels or whatever. Like, she was peeling potatoes this morning. She'll take the potato skins and just throw it all in there. And then Marilyn is able to use that for his gardening, which you guys know we got fresh sorrel back there all the time. We get bananas. We've got plantain. So I've been eating, half eating, because it doesn't produce enough, but it produces something. So we were able to get stuff right from our own garden as well. So we got fresh sorrel right now, sorrel drink in the fridge, thanks to the garden. So do your part. As you might think, oh, this is just a little thing, but collectively it can really add up. So thank you so much again to our guests this morning, this new collaboration, food recycling program. Good luck with it. And hopefully we'll get an update, Sandy, maybe in a couple months to see how things are going.
Great.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for having us, Miss Sandy. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. Okay, folks, we'll be right back after these messages. We've got some breaking news about a little situation in East End, and we'll continue our video segment from yesterday with the Cuban nationals right after these messages.
Are you tired of overpaying for TV services? Can't figure out VPNs? Constantly missing your favorite TV shows? And no access to the good stuff on streaming services? The frustration is real, but it doesn't have to be. Contact Roque, Cayman's streaming pros. We'll put you back in the driver's seat in front of your TV. Call, WhatsApp, or message Roque today on 926-1213. Roque is not a TV service provider. Terms and conditions apply.
Recover Personal Injury Attorneys, helping injured people get what they deserve. Did you know that insurance companies have lawyers that represent their interests? Before signing and accepting any settlement, know your rights. Call us today for a free consultation at 924-9999. That's 924-9999. Recover. Your personal injury attorneys are on standby to assist.
All right, folks, welcome back. Welcome back. Everybody's good in class this morning. Hello, Miss Gabby. Talking about recycling efforts in Toronto. You got a blue bin for recycling and a green for organics. With our small population, we should do more stuff like this from a long time ago. Yes, Honey Gel. We are still waiting. We're still waiting on them to do something with Mount Trashmore. Do y'all know that on Google Maps, it's actually called Mount Trashmore? I mean, not for nothing, but that's pretty embarrassing, actually. What a hot mess. All right, Honey Child, we got some news for you. Thank you so much to my roving reporters. You guys are the best. Oh my gosh. I just got some new photos in. Hold on here, Honey Child. Okay, thank you. Somebody said, make sure you send this to Sandy. I love it. I love it. I love it. Ooh, honey. Yes, this is why we're number one. Thanks to all of you amazing people in the community. You send us stuff as it's happening. So here's what's breaking. Hold on a second, Honey Chill. I just need to send this to my graphic designer because I need him to put a little something together for the website. Use these color photos. Yes. Nice color. Okay, honey chill. All right, so listen, here's what got going on. We've got 8 Cuban nationals have arrived this morning. Ironically enough, since we're talking about them, they've arrived this morning down by, now this area is called, I'm guessing this is East End. This area is called Windham Dock. Didn't even know that was the name of it, but there you go. So they've arrived. We've got some photos. I'll show you guys here in just a little bit. So they're on the outside of Reef Resort, headed back out. So here's video footage again. You're only going to see this here first on Cayman Mall Road, of course. Thanks again to our wonderful people out in the community who always get us the latest photos, videos, and the whole works. So there they are. They've decided not to stay, and they're paddling back out. So police were out there talking to them, and there they are. Oh my gosh, little paddle, my Tweetums. What a situation. This group of 8, I believe it's all men, decided that they were going to try their luck somewhere else. They must have heard about the conditions at the civic center and said, no, honey child. What is honey child in Spanish? Anybody knows how to say honey child in Espanol? No, honey child, no bueno. They're like, no gracias. Oh my gosh. I need to do better with my Spanish. Absolutely horrible. I should be fluent. Shame on me for not keeping up with my studies. Oh my goodness. I used to be really, really quite close to being pretty fluent. Just needed to learn more of my vocabulary. Any of my Spanish friends know how to say honey child in Espanol? I know another phrase that the Hondurans use a lot. Que planchera. All right, so they came in and they decided to go. Okay, so we'll put this up on their social media platforms, and we'll keep an eye on the situation. So yes, I mean, you know, we're going to watch the rest of the interview from yesterday, and we're going to talk generally about some of the issues surrounding this. I don't know. It's a tough situation. You know, I'm very, very sympathetic to their plight. Like I was telling the young man Nadir last night, I said, you know, believe it or not, I understand how he feels to a certain extent. I mean, nobody can truly understand because we have been so fortunate. You know, I hear yesterday I was having numerous conversations with people, and people are saying to me, oh, you know, we got poor people in Cayman too. And I'm just like, wow, it's kind of shocking and interesting that we think that our poor people are the same as these poor people. I mean, it says a lot about our ignorance on the one hand and our inability to even comprehend that there's totally different levels of poverty. You know, these people know a level of poverty where they're coming from that we have no concept about. You know, and then I even said to this person yesterday that, you know, when we talk about, for example, like poor people in Cuba, poor people in Jamaica and other Caribbean countries, it's totally different. You know, in Cuba, they have rolling blackouts as a daily and normal occurrence. So even when you're talking about, yeah, well, we got poor people in Cayman. Okay, yes, we have poor people in Cayman, but tell me, how many of you on this island sustain daily rolling blackouts for hours on end? Most Caymanians, regardless of how poor they are, they still got air conditioning though. I see y'all. You know, it's just the level of poverty and the reality of what that means for these poor people. And they're still having to deal with rising prices for food, shortages of money. You know, there's no shortage of money in Cayman. Right now, if you want to go to the bank and you want to take out, you know, $10,000 in cash, the bank is going to say to you, well, we don't have it. You know, 1 second here. So I don't know. I think, I'm trying my best for sure on this program to collectively try to elevate our thinking and just the knowledge that we have, because I think we all come with prejudices and misinformation and the whole 9 yards, and we think that everybody's plight around the world is the same. And it certainly isn't. They have such dire poverty in Cuba, and they still are dealing with rising prices for fuel and basic services, cutting subsidies and placing restrictions on emerging private sector, and all that kind of stuff. It's just crazy. So I don't know. It just says to me that we actually don't have a clue. People also said, well, we got mothers, and we've got mothers and living in cars in Cayman. And I think to myself, that's interesting, because a lot of those people, wow, the average salary in Cuba is $30 US a month. Yeah. And so when we talk about things like, we got a mother living in a car with kids. Yeah, we post those things all the time. But what I'm telling you is that mother with kids in the car isn't there because of abject poverty on a larger community scale. 99.999% of the time, she is in that situation because of poor personal decisions. Yeah. And so we do know that at some point, poor personal decisions will equate to larger community poverty and community issues. And so there's a concern there. But any Caymanian can get up right now and go find a job. The Cuban nationals in this country are not permitted to work. Once they receive political asylum, then that's a different situation. So imagine being in a holding pattern. And I want to be very, very clear about my position, because I think some of you might be a little bit confused, right? So I want to be very, very clear about my position, because I don't like to send mixed messages, right? The Cuban nationals that are here are not permitted to work. So there are legal constraints on what they can and can't do. Now, I know some of them are working under the table. That I know for a fact. I've heard and seen the photos that people send me, the evidence of, this red truck is picking them up, taking them to a job site. And a lot of times the irony of it is their own Cuban nationals who are allowing them to work illegally in this country and taking advantage of them, because of course, illegal labor is the cheapest form of labor that you can get. Very, very sad and illegal at the same time, right? But, we're human beings, right? First and foremost. And so my humanity doesn't allow me to just completely disregard the plight of people who are in our country. I can't control, unfortunately, what happens in Cuba. If I had a magic wand and perhaps I could solve all of their problems, we could see about doing that, but that is far outside the scope of anything that I'm able to do, and most of us, quite frankly, is able to do. But when somebody is in our country, I feel like we have some control over what's happening here. The point of what I was sharing yesterday, and I'll show the continuation of that interview this morning, was to, number one, educate our people about the plight of the conditions that these people are in our country. Now, I do think it's interesting that a lot of you say, but Sandy, what about, what their plight is in Cuba? And I'm thinking, why are we comparing their plight in Cuba to their plight in Cayman? Are we saying then that we are no better than Cuba? I mean, come on now. Well, we certainly can't be comparing ourselves to them. I know why people do it, because you're saying, well, they're being ungrateful when they come here. This has to be better than what it is that they have in Cuba. I think the difference is this, and this is where I have a problem really with what's going on here. Their plight in Cayman is not an individual plight, it is a collective plight, right? They're here in this country. Now, to be clear, we didn't invite them here. So one of the Cubans, he's in the group, and we've been having some discussions with him back and forth. He's one of the more interesting ones that's here. And probably when I say interesting, you guys know by now, by the look in my face, I don't mean that in a good way. Okay? He's seen, even amongst his own Cubans, like some of them are private messaging me like, oh, we don't like him. He's a troublemaker. He's making us look bad. And he's looking attention for himself. I completely understand the dynamics of what's happening there. Okay. He's the one who I was trying to remember if it was him. And then it came to me. He was the one who was the forefront of the whole Panamanian thing. He's the one who's sitting on the waterfront this morning with all his bags, panhandling and begging people for money with the young baby and the Dominican wife. So now I know who he is, and it puts things in a little bit of a better context. Despite that, he messages, and I'm trying to listen to what he's saying. I think he's a little bit misguided with some of the things that he believes. But a lot of the Cuban nationals, they're just like, listen, we just want to live peacefully and quietly. We don't necessarily want all this attention, right? But they do want somebody to listen to them. Now, some of my friends over at CBC, they're like, Sandy, why are you giving these people a platform? By you giving them a platform, then that's going to make the situation worse. I don't believe that for 1 second. And in fact, I think you need to look at it a different way. By giving people, just like we do for anybody else on this show, we give Jamaicans a voice. They can call in and complain about, people treating them badly, their own Caymanians, anybody else, treating them badly in the workplace. We give Caymanians a voice. We give women and children a voice on this platform. Why wouldn't I give people, migrants a voice here as well? Right. And I think by giving them a voice and by having people understand maybe somewhat what their plight is, you're more likely to not have them feel the need to go out there and protest. Does that not make sense? I find it strange that people think the opposite would happen. Because if people believe that, okay, somebody's listening to me at the very minimum, someone is listening. Maybe we can get some answers. We can get some clarity. We can have some understanding, right? Then they're not going to be as inclined to go out there and protest with signs on our government building. So I don't see the harm in letting them say their piece, right? And I've said to them, this is a two-way process. Like, you get to say your piece, and the people of the Cayman Islands are obviously very, very vocal, and they're getting to say their piece, and they're, sharing with you, and you need to be open to listening. Because if everybody approached the process with the understanding or the sort of end game of, let me understand the other person, right? Everybody did that. Let me understand. Seek first to understand and then be understood. So you don't lead with, oh, you need to listen to me. This is my position. You lead with, okay, talk to me. Let me hear what it is that you're trying to say and see if I can't understand your position. And then I will share my position with you. So my position is clear. This country has very limited resources. We are a small, and I'll put in quotations, island nation. We obviously know we're not independent. And so, there are a lot of things, we'd love to be able to solve the world's problems and the Caribbean's problems, but there are things that we simply cannot do and that are outside of our scope. Having said that, there are things that we can do. And so I only ask our people to extend your humanity and your generosity and your quote unquote Cayman kind to the things that are within our control. And what I saw on Friday at the Civic Center, really, in my humble opinion, is deplorable. And as Caymanians, we should demand better. We shouldn't allow anybody, even the least of us, to be living in those sorts of conditions in this country. And again, I hear what you're talking, oh, well, Caymanians live worse than that. I challenge you to show me any Caymanian in this country that's living with a group of 40 people by the hands of your government. So in other words, your government has created this situation and they could expect nothing different. Somebody said, well, they built these rooms. Of course they did. What would you think is going to happen when you put 40 plus people in a confined area? Somebody said the Civic Center is like maybe 1,500 square feet. I don't think they have access to 1,500 square feet based on what I saw. That's maybe 1,000 square feet, right? So who's going to put 40 plus people in 1,000 square feet and 2 bathroom, 2 shower facilities, a toilet, and expect you to just, okay, make do and be hunky-dory? I think, in fact, despite the fact that it looks like a favela, the way that they have managed to build these little private sectioned off areas indoors and whatever is actually quite ingenious, that they can give themselves a little bit of privacy. I say that our government should have never put them in that position to begin with. Now, I'm not here blaming CBC for this. I want to be very, very clear. I'm not blaming CBC. When I talk about the government in particular, I'm talking about the Ministry of Border Control, which CBC falls under. Where is the minister? John is the Minister of Border Control. Where is he in all of this? Why have we not heard anything from him? We've never heard anything from him, actually. And especially not about the plight of, people, migrants that are coming into our shores. What's the game plan? What's happening? We know that there was some legislative change under the government back in 2022. I welcomed, as you guys will remember, those legislative change. It tightened things a little bit as it relates to the Cuban nationals. So now the people who have come since that legislation went into place, those changes went into place, they're being expedited a lot quicker. But there's a lot of reasons. There's a lot of sort of bumps in the road as to why there are delays. And that's one of the reasons why I've asked for CBC to sit down with us so they can explain what's happening. Why are there bumps in the road? Why is it taking so long to repatriate people? Because everything isn't in the control of CBC. So we have to be fair to that agency. And where they should take blame, we're going to place blame. Where they shouldn't take blame and it has nothing to do with them, then, that's a whole other situation. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Sandy. How are you?
Not bad, dear. How are you?
I'm good. I'm so glad that you brought this the thing to the forefront yesterday. And I like most Caymanians were saying, oh, there's damn ungrateful Cubans, until I saw what the horrendous life that these people are going through. My heart goes out to them now. And what does people expect them? People got to understand these people are human beings as well. I thought they were so unappreciative and they wanted more. All they're asking to be treated like a human being. It's so sad. Like you said, where is the government? The government of the day or the government of the past should have if we need to use that civic center
we can't use that.
No, we can't.
No, definitely not. And in fact, let me be very, very clear about the condition of the civic center now. The civic center is going to have to be completely gutted. If they ever move those Cubans out, we want to return it to civic center. It's going to have to be completely gutted. And my sources have revealed that it's going to cost the people of the Cayman Islands over $100,000 to restore that civic center to a usable situation. You can imagine. Would it have not been better for the government to invest in some sort of a facility or partner with someone that they could have had rooms to share, maybe 2 or 3 per unit, instead of putting 40 people in one solid open air space?
It's sad. And then Sandy, why? Where's that $3 million? I heard. I think it was you mentioned.
We've asked some questions, Mr. Dexter, because it occurred to me that we need a breakdown of where this money, because a lot of us are just talking about it, generally speaking,
of course.
but where does the money go? How much is for housing? How much is for food? How much is security? How much is, I mean, I don't know what else they're spending it on, but we have requested, so just to, by way of an update, just yesterday, I have requested a breakdown of where that money is actually spent.
And I bet you're not going to get an answer for that.
But hopefully we will. Let's see, you know, what that ministry comes back with. But hopefully we'll be able to get a breakdown.
You know, it's really sad. My heart goes out to these people. This weekend I'll probably, you know, go up there. I'll take them some groceries or something.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, what do they need? Or they need everything, or what do they need?
Well, let me keep talking about it. So keep listening, and I'll tell you what I've taken so far, and then we can certainly speak to them a little bit more this morning as well.
Yeah, you know, I like so many Caymanians didn't know what was going on with these, and we verbally abused them, not knowing the full circumstances. I thank God that we have you to be the voice of the people. I know the government doesn't like what you're doing, and I'm certain that there's other people that are supporters of the government that will not agree. Oh, well, we didn't bring them here, but they're here. Why are they taking so long to process these people?
Yeah, we'll talk about some of that. Thank you so much, Mr. Dexter. Really appreciate it.
Okay,
and you know, this idea of and I'll be quite honest with you, the young man now who has positioned himself on our government property in town, right in front of tourists. I mean, this is all very, I mean, obviously he's doing this purposely to agitate. He is the agitator in the group. And he's actually, listen, the ones at the Civic Center, he has asylum. They're like, he's not really part of our group. Yes, he's a Cuban, but let's be very, very clear. He's not part of our group. And so they are also distancing themselves from him. But he's positioned himself out by the port this morning. This is a calculated move. You know, some people just, there he is. Some people just like attention. There he is with his stuff. Somebody said he was riding around yesterday with a bicycle. He has a young child. I don't know how old the baby is now, but she's probably a toddler. Same one that was sick on the Panamanian ship that almost died because of his actions, and no action was ever taken against him. And I think that action should have been taken against him. So there he is again today with his umbrella. He has a Dominican wife who I understand now has the right to be able to remain in Cayman with him and work. Remember at one point he was protesting because he wanted his Dominican wife to also get asylum. I want to say this, and this is what the young man in the Cuban group said. He said, listen, you have to understand that not all Cubans are the same. And please don't judge us as a collective people. You know, we're different. And I also want to encourage all of you to contemplate and to think about this. Nadir, who is the one who has spoken to us, in fact, some of you reached out and said, Sandy, his English is better than a lot of Caymanians I know. I had to chuckle. They're like, at least he's using the correct verbiage and tense and whatever when he's speaking, compared to some other people who only speak English. I think he is very different, and he's obviously motivated. He said he's been here for a couple of years now. He has taken it upon himself to try to learn English. I don't know if he studied, you know, English before coming to Cayman or not, but he has really stood out in a way. You know, don't judge them all by the same brush. So somebody who is looking attention for themselves, who's like sending pictures of them with the governor in the group, that to me is a very different person than someone who just wants to help, or someone who wants to understand what the legal position is in this country. So this person says, it's always one to spoil it for everyone. This guy is now showing his child to the tourists that he need money, holding the child up like a shrine. I just called Kenneth Bryan about the situation with this Cuban in town, and his wife and child are annoying the tourists for money. Kenneth did not even know about it. I guess he's not listening to CMR this morning. Nor the police have been notified. If that Cuban permit is up, then deport them back. It's messed up. John busy. Oh, okay. Participating in extracurricular activities off island. Let's put it that way. I'm not sure, listener to the program, if that would be considered cheating, because if you have an open relationship, then apparently none of the parties care. All right. So yeah, John, he not worried about nothing. The dude does not even show up to work, to be very, very clear. He says he's allergic to the government building. So yeah, I mean, listen, regardless of how you're here in this country, whether you're a Caymanian or whatever, what he is engaging in this morning, this panhandling, begging behavior, is not something that's acceptable to the Caymanian people. And I know that he knows this, This is not a dude who's stupid. He knows this, but what he does is he does things to agitate and to aggravate, the situation, just like the whole situation with the Panamanian ship and the other protests that he has been involved in. We're very, very, very aware of his MO. And the sad part is he does not help the Cubans at all. What he does actually hurts the Cuban cause more than anything else. But when people are agitators, they don't often see how their behavior is hurtful and not harmful. So this person says, hey, Sandy, sorry, just trying to understand. So the Civic Center is a government mandated location for refugees. All right, so let me answer this first question first. There is a difference between a migrant and a refugee, okay? So let me be very, very clear. And this is, again, when we sit down with CBC, we're going to get some of these questions answered. They don't become a refugee until they apply for asylum, and then they're granted, that refugee status, so to speak. When they arrive on our shores, they are essentially illegal migrants. And the law dictates how illegal migrants are to be treated. Okay? So they are to be treated a very, very different way. So listen carefully. Migrants are only considered refugees if they are granted political asylum. These 40 plus people that are at the Boddentown Civic Center have not been granted political asylum. So they are not refugees. This is a common mistake that we all make, and I want us to start, kind of using the correct term, because I think it's also confusing for them. A lot of them erroneously believe that they are refugees. And so even some of the rights that they're asserting, and they're going online and they're Googling refugee status and refugee rights and blah, 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 it is not that type of a situation for them yet. Okay? So that's the first thing that is worth clarifying and correcting so that we are all on the same page. They're not refugees. Now, is anybody else seeing a really fuzzy connection for our Facebook connection? Give me 1 second. Let me just refresh our Facebook or feed, because I see it's very, very fuzzy and I want you guys to be able to read what's on screen. Give me 1 quick second and then we're going to come back to this.
I hear the people talking. What are they talking about? This world's gone crazy, and I'm trying to find a way out. Nobody knows where we're going, or if we're going at all.
All right, folks. Is that any better? It was just super fuzzy just now. So I was trying to see if we could refresh our connection. I'm not sure if it's any better, to be honest. So I'll just read it for all of you to make sure that you can properly see it. So again, they're not refugees. So what happens is they kind of go through several steps before they even go to the Civic Center, right? So when they first land and they come in, they're held in a controlled environment. So they are detained at facilities such as the one there. I think that might be the only place they're detaining them now, but I stand to be corrected. But they're detained like at Fairbanks, right? So those are migrants who have landed illegally They have to go through a process of identification. The Cuban government has to be contacted about who they are and all this sort of stuff. So they are detained, and those people have no right to move from where they are. So there's no right of free movement for those individuals. So this is what happened last week, you see? Some of those people who are supposed to stay put where they are did not do so. They escaped lawful custody because they don't have the right of free movement. They escaped lawful custody and went to the center there. At least one of them, I think, was arrested at that location, went to the Bodden Town Center to hang out with his Cuban compadres or whatever. They're not permitted to do that. That is why CBC went last week, when was it, Monday, and raided the facility because they were looking for two of these migrants who had left lawful custody. So that is why the protest kicked off. And if you listen to the interview yesterday, Nadir was saying, you know, yes, they understand that they have to do their job. They don't, in principle, have an issue with CBC doing their job, but they find, or they're, in their opinion anyway, that CBC officers can be very, very disrespectful. They, you know, aren't showing any humanity. They show up 3, 4 o'clock in the morning doing the raid, which is understandable. I mean, you do a raid when you think people are sleeping, right? Not when they have free movement and have had breakfast and can run out the back door. So they went in at, you know, in the wee hours in the morning, and they pulled everybody out. So they woke everybody up. He said, listen, some people sleep with, you know, little to no clothes on and all this kind of stuff. And so they didn't even give people an opportunity to grab a shirt and to put on clothes. So he was saying, for example, one of the guys there, he said, you know, give him my shirt. And then when he had asked for a shirt, they took some shirt that was like in the garbage or some old dirty shirt and tried to give that to him. And he's like, I'm not going to put that shirt on. So these are some of the things that they're complaining about. Listen, we all want to be treated with some degree of dignity, even in a situation where you're being arrested. And I can tell you, let me share a personal experience with you all, Classy. Come forward, children. Come on forward. You guys know that I have been arrested a number of times, you know, because the RCIPS have a love relationship with me. And so let me tell y'all something that happened to me one time when I was arrested, right? This connection today is really, really fuzzy. My apologies. I don't know what else to do to make it any better, to be honest. But anyway, so let me say this in relation to even dealing with the police and stuff, right? When you get arrested, you can be in a very hyper state of annoyance, okay? Especially in my case, when you're like, you guys, again, like seriously, sick and tired of you guys harassing me. This is absolutely ridiculous. Like, give me a break, like WTF, like seriously, whatever. So one time they came, most times what they do with me is they'll just call and say, oh, you know, we're going to arrest you. Just come on in, kind of thing. And I tell them, listen, I'll come in. Like you don't have to be coming trying to break a nail and trying to act the fool with me. All you have to do is call me and I'll come in. You ain't got to send no task force. I'm not that kind of person. I haven't murdered anybody. I don't own any weapons. I'm not some crazy person that's going to, when you come knocking on my door, be like this, that, and the next thing. So I've had 2 times when the police have just shown up. So one time they came with a search warrant, which, by the way, not this one, but the other search warrant was successfully challenged, and I won a judicial review case. So this particular one, they show up at my door in the wee hours of the morning, and they're like, oh, you know, we've got a search warrant. We're here to search. I'm like, okay, come on in, honey child. I was in the middle of doing some renovations in my apartment at the time, and they start digging up my stuff. Then they're going to ask me to help them find what they're looking for. Oh, well, we're looking for, this was a nation building case. We're looking for these certificates. Where can we find them? I was like, Popo, y'all are, yeah, really? Yeah, y'all redefine stupidity. And these are supposed to be senior detectives. I'm like, okay, you've come here thinking that you have a case against me. Let me try to understand the logic, right? You think you have a case against me, and you've come looking for obviously something very, very specific. You didn't find what you're looking for. And so now you ask me where to find it? Even if it existed, and I'm not saying whether it existed or not, I'm like, even if it existed, why the hell would I be helping you find anything? You came with a search warrant. You think you know what you're looking for. You have access to my whole house. Go dig in my panty drawer and see if you can find it. Because after a while, this is how you feel about these agencies, right? The time before that they came, they had 8 or 9 detectives. Oh, they made a big scene. And this was at my place of work in town. They all came, put me in handcuffs, put me in the car. I remember when I won my judicial appeal case, the Justice Henderson is the one who heard the case. And he said, this is so ridiculous. He said, why did you guys have to send 8 detectives for this woman? You would swear that she's Cayman's most serious criminal. And this was an ICT matter, right? Sending somebody text messages they claim that they didn't like and this and that. They were like, are you people? The judge was like, really? This is intimidation. Like, you guys are trying to send a message to her, right? That, oh, you're Cayman's #1 criminal. We're going to send 8 officers to collect you, kind of thing. So in that situation, that was the first time that they came to me like that. You know, the dog situation was a little bit different. And they came with all this force, and it can do something to you psychologically. You have to be very, very aware. So even when this young man was talking about how they came in and their plight, there was some degree of sympathy. And I also understand what the CBC officers are having to do as part of their job. I get it. Now, they can do their job and still be professional and respectful. And I want to remind all of our officers of this as well, right? I'm sharing this story because I want to tell you the emotional component sometimes of what happens when someone approaches you in a particular way and you're in lawful custody, how you will react and act out of character. So that day they came, it was relatively late in the day, probably like after 3 o'clock, maybe 4 o'clock. And my dog Coco at the time had gone to the groomers, and I had dropped her off to the groomers. So they're like, oh, you know, we're arresting you. And they were actually going to bring me to my house and then conduct a search warrant with me present. So they were going to be taking all kind of stuff. Oh, we need phones and computers and whatever. I was like, okay, go right ahead. So I said to them, you know, I took my dog to the groomers that day. And so I need to pick my dog up. Oh, we don't care. This was the answer. We don't care about your dog. Oh, you know, we don't care about your dog. We're going to just take you to your house. And I said, listen, the facility, I have no way of calling them. You've taken my phone, all this kind of stuff. The facility doesn't know what's happening. They're not going to keep Coco overnight. Nobody else is going to go and pick her up. Nobody else, you know, is responsible for the dog. I need to be able to go and get my dog. When they started giving me an attitude about I can't go and pick up my poor Coco, who's innocent in all of this, let me tell y'all something. That was the day that Auntie Sandy was going to go to jail. I was going to go to jail over Coco. And I said to them in no uncertain terms, I said, listen, I started to get a little bit ignorant. Oh, yes. That Georgetown ignorant then come out. And I said, listen to me in no uncertain terms. And a couple colorful words for the officers. I said, don't y'all test me here today. You have a job to do, but the manner in which you do it speaks volumes about you all. And I'm telling you, you are not going to take me anywhere here today without picking up my dog first. So y'all can decide how this is going to go. This is going to get real ugly real quick if you don't go pick up my dog from the groomers. And they changed their mind. They decided to stop. They let me out of the car with my little handcuffs, and I went inside, paid for the, I don't even know if I had any money at that point. But anyway, I must have paid somehow. Collected Coco from Animal House and put Coco in the car. And then they were like, oh. And I said, Coco, please don't be, because she was so cute and so friendly. She's like being friendly to these officers. I'm like, don't be friendly to them, honey chill. They're not your friend. But I bet you they stopped and made me pick up Coco. Because in my mind, in that moment, that was my concern about this poor innocent dog being left there overnight with no proper, they're not a boarding facility. They wouldn't have known what to do with her, whatever. And so I told them straight up, y'all are going to pick up my dog today. You understand me, Popo? This is how it's going to go. Thank God they decided to, because I would have really ended up in jail. Anyway, I just share that story to say that, you know, I can sympathize a little bit with some of the situations. But anywho, so they said it was the manner in which they went in. I want you to watch the rest of the video, because pay attention to this lady. Now, she has been living in Cayman for over 20 years. I understand that she's married to Caymanian. They're no longer married. She now obviously has status. She has, I think, you know, must be children here, whatever. But look at the difference and how these people who were just protesting just a week ago between Tuesday and Friday, right? They were protesting on our steps. Look at how they turned around and apologized on multiple occasions to the people of the Cayman Islands. Folks, this is about coming together sometimes and just having a conversation, not cussing and carrying on with each other, but just having a conversation saying, listen, this is how you guys are insulting us. This is how you need to do better. We admit that our people, our government also needs to do better, and we will advocate. We will ask questions on your behalf. But I keep saying to them, the way that you do things matters. The way that you protest matters. The way that you try to be heard matters. So here's the remainder of the interview that we were showing yesterday.
No, I not use a bad word. No, never I use bad word. So when we are there, the first that came was the police, Cayman police. Very nice guys. They say, hey guys, what is happening here? We explain the situation. They make like a report, and they say, okay, we're gonna explain the law. They never said that we cannot stay there. They only say, okay, look, you cannot use the post and put it in the wall because this is property of the government. The government.
Yeah.
They'll say, okay, so let's take it. Everybody take the post from where we hold them. So other thing, when the people start to coming, you cannot be like in the middle because they have to come in the building, in and out, back and forth. Okay, no problem. So you can stay in the
on
left,
the side,
on the right. Okay, we do all that the police say, and we don't have any problem with the police. But when the CBC director came to us, he not came with the same diplomacy. He wasn't professional. The only he said was, okay, I want to talk with you and you. No, I'm only the interpreter. All the guys have a lot of things and complain from you. Why they cannot hear, why they cannot speak with you. Because I applied for speak with you a lot of time and the answer is the same. You cannot speak with them. Why? After that, I say, no, I'm not a leader. I explained to him before. I'm not a leader. I'm only the person that can make you like you understand what is happening here.
Yeah.
He refused to speak with everybody. Go back, and like 30 minutes ago, after that, he came back again. Okay, let's talk everybody. When was everybody explain the thing and the thing, he said, okay, you only have 30 minutes for leave the place. But that's not an answer. You treat me. Therefore was that CBC came to us and they come like, okay, we have to take this guy out. And 5 guys only for me, they jumping to me and they arrest me. They use the rough way and that thing. And we know because I know the law. I have read the CBC law, the Customs and Border law. I know the law for asylum. I have the human right. I know the convention, and we know that is breaking the law. Because I'm here, because I want to talk with you. Because otherwise, if you can try to speak with these people, and these people don't understand what you are saying, that can make you like a conflict with them. Because if you read the Bible, you realize that the first thing that make a big disturb in the civilization was when God changed the language. Why? Because one time that you change the language, you change the mentality of the people. So it's hard to understand, for example, a person that born like English, like mother language, think different to Spanish language. So that is one important thing. We are different cultures, we are different language. We have to find and have a good conversation, a good way that I can tell you why I'm not happy with the process, what is happening, because we are different. Everybody here has a different process. So maybe one guy he come here and say, yeah, I come here because I want to work. Oh, that guy come because he will need money.
Yeah.
But maybe I come here and say, hey, I come here because it was in the independent period is down there, and those people down there they want to hurt. So that's different. You cannot say, oh no, everybody here is economic refugee. No, that's not right. That's not right. So there is a grand difference in that. Yeah. You want to see the
hopefully you're gonna show me something else.
the laundry? You
Yeah.
saw the okay.
You can take me, but I mean, what I want to say is, one of the reasons I came out that day is because I wanted to hear what you guys had to say, but I brought Ingrid with me because I'm like, Ingrid, we need to keep it calm. It doesn't make any sense. Like, people are not going to listen to you if you're shouting and screaming and getting all upset. So, I want the people to hear what you guys have to say. We did over an hour the other day, and I put most of it on the show. I'm going to share it again this weekend. This I'll share on Monday's show, and then I'll put it again on social media so people can hear exactly what it is that you're saying. Because
maybe at that time that you arrived there, the situation was not how it started, because they saw. I mean, refugees here, we are fair. We have fears that they send you back to Cuba because can happen with you awful things. You understand? Yeah. Okay. So if they saw that I'm the person that I'm trying to interpret it with the authority and get a understanding, and they saw that they use the rough thing with me, what they will thought. If they do to these people that can speak with them, how they treat me when they don't understand what I'm telling you. Therefore, they was in that moment that you arrived, they like, and what she wanted, and why she asked me that. You understand? It's the situation, the moment. Because I'm realize that if you go upstairs right now and you talk with them, they're gonna laugh and they're gonna hear you, they're gonna speak with you, slowly, smooth and pacific. Yeah, it's the time, and it's complicated. Maybe it's not when people is upset or is scared.
Yeah.
That you try to speak with them and
yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All this place. So you record here down there?
Yeah.
Because we have.
You can show me more if you want.
Yeah.
Because we just went this little first section, and then they said to go.
He's saying that we cannot enter here. We have permission to enter here. This is Cayman Mall Road, right?
Who gave you any permission to come here?
Well, I don't have anything in writing, but
this is Cayman Mall Road, the news, and this was set.
Try Mr. Clifford.
I
He
will
might
contact somebody from CBC.
Yeah, I mean, we've already been in, so it's kind of late now. But
so you kind of late.
Yeah, I understand what's already.
But yeah. So down here, are there people living beyond that door?
Yeah. There is a guy that he have a Caymanian friend. He was giving a ride to him, and he have a accident. So we put him down there because he have a like handicap, and he can go upstairs or downstairs.
So he's on that section.
Yeah, and we have to thank.
Is he in a wheelchair or?
No, he got a casket. I just bring him
Casket.
from the hospital.
Yeah, she helped to carry to the hospital, bring him back and forth. Because as I told you, sometimes we have some circumstance that we need money. You understand? Imagine that case. The boy have to go every week to the HSA.
But a cast on his leg.
Yeah, and every week he have to take a bus, go there and go back. That's $4. So we don't have cash. What are you gonna do? Because immigration don't come and take you. Okay, I'm gonna take you to the hospital.
Yes.
Nobody do that. Only some Caymanian that came here. Hey, prima, I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna give you a ride. She come and help you to us too. Some church, because there is plenty Cuban here that they go to the church. Yes, the Mormon church. To and 7 day, and there is plenty church here that you can choose how you feel comfortable and then go there. So this guy living here. Yeah.
I mean, he's on the phone, but listen, I'm not gonna worry about him.
You see? He lives
Okay.
here. Yeah.
So this is his little room.
Yeah. We visit this for him because
He can't move.
downstairs.
Yeah.
This is working?
Yeah, it's working. It's where he saved the food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. And then they do some cooking here also.
Yeah, they cook.
Yeah.
She's not authorized this.
Okay.
Please.
So, I mean, I see like a lot of electrical wires and stuff. This doesn't really look all that safe.
Yes, the people that have to blow in because imagine for fans, charger.
That is weird because I just was saying to him the other day a Canadian lady she got mental issues. She come inside there to their rooms, take properties belong to them and trying to selling it upstairs.
Oh my God.
Begging cigarette all kind of thing and he not stopped
See?
them
And
from
he
coming,
doesn't
but
stop them.
he stopped you guys.
Yeah.
I don't I'm telling you.
Oh, yeah.
All kind of things up here is upside down, then I don't understand.
Yeah.
I don't
Wow.
understand.
Yeah.
We totally ignore it. No one can come here and
Understand,
arrest
But,
I really apologize. I don't. You say
Yeah, give her the microphone so we can hear her. Sorry. Yeah.
I really apologize that the other day, we was in the middle of the protest. I mean, I was on their side. It's not like I was a protester. I guess I'm a Cuban. And it's about humanity, being a human. And I was on their side, so if I sound aggressive, I really apologize. We all was upset. We was hot. We want answers, and nobody give us answer. So I apologize to you guys if I talk to you guys in a rough way. You saying in your show that when it's a process, all kind of anger, all kind of things can take place. So if I ask question to CBC or whatever, they have, like the proper way, like the manners or like the time to speak to them. If it's something that you cannot answer, fine, but answer them in the right way. How you going to take a shirt from the garbage to giving it to a human being? Do you know what is being in the garbage? You don't do that. This one, fall down from that stair when they throw them in here like a dog, get injured, ending in the hospital, having surgery with screws and things, and they just bring them like whatever, treat them like whatever. And like how I was saying before, that maybe you want to hear the part too. Yes, they put them in apartments. They did. And I know that a lot of the Cubans, they destroy the apartment and they bring all kind of people in and do the all kind of things. But not all the Cubans are the same. Not all of them are the same. You got some good guys that they really have a very dangerous situation going back home. You understand? That what they're they're trying to get some kind of parliament or something to see if they can take them out of here because they can't go back to Cuba. They can't. They will go jail or they will be killed because that's the last lot in Cuba. You talk against the governor and they will neutralize you. It's a death capital. Go in the news and check.
Just like two weeks ago, they explained that.
So they have them in here. Okay, this is the best you can do. And as a Cuban, I appreciate that too because it's not like they are in the beach drop, like whatever. At least they're having a roof over their head with water, propane gas, and light. Okay, but give them some chemicals to clean. I don't know, some buckets and mop that they can clean. They have to get dirty old towels. This thing that you use to pull the water that they can use it like a mop. I don't know if you haven't ever seen a Cuban mop. It looks like a letter T.
Yeah,
And then
I
you
saw
put
it
in a
before.
piece of cloth and because they don't know how to use the mop. But well, whatever. And that's what they do. That's what they do. But if they get them like in a bucket and a mop, we show them and the chemical, they don't know what it is. Okay, this chemical, this pencil is for this, before they drink it or clean the window with it. Oh no, this is to clean the toilet, to mop the floor. And you show them, sometimes I give them H7 to get the grease out of the kitchen and stuff like that. Because most of them are men. You only got 3 women in here.
Yeah.
Okay. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
So things like that, just take your time and okay, this is what you got, fine. Fine, but help them better, and don't come in here. They are humans. They are humans. That everything, tú entiendes, everything from the garbage, they go to the. You got Spur Hill.
It's the whole foot.
Oh, I thought you want to have a Spur Hill.
Yeah.
They go in the dumpster and they get mattress, they get stove, not stove, they get washing machine, they get dryers, they get doors. You see the rooms up there, right? Then build with sheets and cardboard on top. So they get doors and stuff like that so they can have them privacy. I mean, who's not? Lying down and they like to put their hand anywhere or scratch or fart or something. They need privacy. I mean, that's the fact. That's human.
Yeah.
We all do. Come on, we all do. So they need privacy. So it's I want everybody get me out of this because I'm not really like against anybody. I just being in the right.
It's okay.
You understand? Yes, sir.
I gotta go
All
get
right?
something for it. Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right, folks. So listen, I appreciate her apologizing. I appreciate, the Cuban people saying that, even with the protesting, maybe they were very, very emotive. They were in their feelings, and they could have done it a better way. Because listen, I'm not giving anybody right when you're wrong. So I've said to them, you're not supposed to come on our government steps and protest like this. Because they're like, oh, but you have the right to protest. I said, yes, I have a right to protest, but there is a procedure. So I have to go apply to the RCIPS, fill out their form saying we're going to hold a protest at this time, this date, whatever. I don't just show up and protest. The only person that does that is Lovell, because we know she, probably not playing with a full deck. But that's not how you do it. So then they didn't know it is not. I said, okay. Right? No, I'm trying to explain to you guys that there is a procedure, there's a process. This is how these things work. The same way that I'm saying that, yes, there are certain procedures and things that should be put in place for you guys. It works in both directions. Our government putting people in a situation like this. They noted how they have to go to immigration once a week to check in. They have to get to, the guy with the broken leg has to get to the hospital, whatever. Somebody just said, but how are they supposed to get up and down? There's no transportation. There's nothing provided for them. No, that's completely on them. So they're out there hitching. I saw a couple of rusted bicycles around the place. I guess if they can have a bicycle, they'll hitch up and down or whatever. All CBC knows is they better show up. They get a card with money. They're not given cash or anything else. So the guy's like, we have to find money to get bus fare. The government is creating a situation. And when I say the government, now I'm talking about the elected arm, the ministry. They are creating a situation. If you need money to go to get a bus to go all the way from the Bodden Town Civic Center to CBC in town every single week, where's the money going to come from? You're going to have to find it some kind of way. You're going to either work illegally, prostitute, steal, whatever, or beg. I think the main issue I have is that our government has created an untenable situation for these people in terms of where they're living and how they're getting up and down, knowing that they are not supposed to be working in this country. Right? They cannot work. They're not allowed to work until their status changes from a migrant to refugee status. All right. Let's read a few of your comments. Damien says exactly. They don't have U.S. brands in Cuba, and they don't even know what it means. They could think it's a juice like pine soil, might think it's piña. So this was a fair point. And again, this is about trying to understand, how this works. So she's like, okay, they're not provided any cleaning supplies. There's nobody goes there that cleans. There's nobody doing inspections. There's no person changing the air conditioning filters. None of that is happening. Okay. She's like, if we even got the cleaning supplies, I could try to show the guys how to use it. Because yes, they don't know what pine soil is. They're not going to know what, hopefully they know what bleach is, but who knows? They might not have seen bleach. I mean, I don't know. where exactly they're coming from in Cuba. But she's like, give us something and we will assist in the way that we can. Jeffrey says, Sandy, sorry, one second here. How can they don't know? And the guy says that they know the law. Well, listen, a lot of people can say that they know the law. And then when you ask them what the law says, you find out in short order that they don't know the law. Yeah. So he might be of the opinion that he knows the law, he thinks he knows the law, but that doesn't mean that he does. Because what I have found is that, when I was speaking to them, a lot of things that they thought, oh, this is how it works, this is the position, they don't know anything about it. So I don't know when he says he knows the law. There's lots of laws that exist out there. Damien says they can't afford extension cords, so they pull wire from somewhere or even the dump. And again, people have donated doors to them. They do say that sometimes Caymanians go by there playing basketball and they will take things for them. I'm just saying there's a little bit of a minimum standard that should be in place here. And I do not believe that what we have created in terms of the living situation is the right thing to do. Now, this has nothing to do with their application and how they're going to be processed in terms of, their asylum applications and so forth. Like I said to them, you have to go through the process. There is a process and you have to go through it. So let me just see. Somebody said I didn't read their message. Which message is that? Okay, we're not on that topic, but okay. So I promised them that I would get them some cleaning supplies. I went by Price Right yesterday. My day was a little bit busy, but I went by Price Right and I got them some pine soil. Again, the lady's gonna have to tell them how to use it because I don't have that time of day. Got them some garbage bags because they're never provided any garbage bins or bags or anything like that. Paper towels, some Clorox bleach, some scrub. What's the scrubbing stuff called? The soft scrub, Lysol for cleaning toilets. And she will have to show them, what these things are used for. Some of the scrub, the Brillo pads and stuff like that. She can show them, give them a lesson in how to clean, because again, I don't know what their skill level is in terms of any of that stuff. Big shout out to Miss Carla. I don't know if she's watching this morning, but she was kind enough. She actually saw me at the store stocking up and she's like, oh, can I donate towards it? And she donated $50 towards the bill. So, I really, really appreciate that. I'm still trying to find a bucket for them. So the ones that were at Price Right, Hanicha, were high-end buckets, and I didn't think that they needed a professional, $70 bucket, the big yellow ones. So I'm looking for buckets. Some of you are asking, what else do they need? So again, these people haven't begged or asked for anything. I want to be very, very clear. I did take it upon myself to assist them in any way that I can. So if you guys have a bucket that you want to donate, that would be nice. I do want to call this young man, Nadir, and see if there's anything else. Because again, all the stuff that you see there, all the sheets and all that kind of stuff, they were provided with those items. People donated the mattresses and all kind of stuff. Let me ask a question. What gloves would probably be a good idea, Damien, and brushes? That's probably a good idea. I didn't get any gloves or brushes. But what were they given in terms of bed space? Because all those old mattresses and stuff like that were donated by people. So what exactly did government give them to even sleep on? I'm just asking. Miss Darlene says, after seeing your show yesterday, I couldn't sleep last night from feeling so guilty. This was very sorry. Empty 5-gallon buckets. Maybe that's a good idea as well. Let me see. I'm going to try to call this young man and see. So the young man who speaks English, he's only our point of contact because he speaks English. The rest of them, I must say, might know one or two words, but they don't really speak conversational English. So he wanted to make it clear, like, hey, he's not the leader of anybody. He's 28 years old. He's trying to get his, life sorted out. But, he just wants to do his best. Hi, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Hi, Nadir?
Yes.
Yes, this is Sandra. How are you?
I'm great, Sandra, and you?
Not too bad. So we have you on the radio. We were just watching the end of the video there. And so people were asking what other supplies might you need. So one person recommended or suggested gloves and scrub brushes. I think that's a good idea. We still need a mop bucket. Is there anything else that you think you guys need in terms of like cleaning supplies or anything else that the community can help you out with?
Well, I think that you covered yesterday. We can, I would say, we can deal with that stuff first. But bleach is something that we always need, for clean the bathroom and the showers. Brush for the we don't have the brush for the sink. For clean the sink, yeah.
So like a scrub brush.
Yes. Maybe some cover for the mattress.
Something to cover the mattresses. Where did you, I'm curious, where did you guys get all of those mattresses from?
Well, some people, sometimes they say, I have a old mattress at home, so if you want it, you can take it.
Okay.
And we take it, yeah.
Yeah, so just people have donated those. Yes.
Yeah, all those things. All that we have is because some Caymanian, they approach to us. Some of them speak a little bit Spanish. Sometimes speak with me or the other guy that speak English, and we explain the situation, and they come to the TV center and help us.
Yes. Okay. And we're kind of curious because I think we want to be clear. We want your situation to be resolved one way or the other very, very quickly. I know you guys don't like being here for years and being in a holding pattern. So you have now been here, you said, for a couple of years?
Yeah, 2 years and a couple of months.
Where are you now with the process? You said you have appealed because apparently your application, like they put some incorrect information on your application, and so you appeal saying that the government has confused you with someone else.
Yeah, my first refusal I get by 1 year and 2 months to arrive here. So after that, I have to appeal to the RAP. We call RAP is the department of the appeal in the government. So have been like 1 year from that way, from that time that I feel.
You submitted your appeal over a year ago, and you've not heard back from this appeal body yet?
No, nothing at all.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, this is part of the problem. Obviously, the appeal tribunal, I don't know who these people are, but they should be responding to applications within a reasonable amount of time. I don't think an entire year is a reasonable amount of time.
Yeah, that's a big problem. And the other problem is that we are obligated to appeal. No matter that the explanation that they give you to refuse your asylum don't have any sense, you only have 14 days to appeal. If you are not agree with what they said, in 14 days and you don't appeal, they send you back to Cuba.
Right.
So no matter, for example, that in your process of asylum, the refusal say, you are no a political asylum, we don't accept that for this reason, and the reason is something that is a complete mistake. No matter, you have to go to the government.
Right. So you mentioned that you get a NAU card for $160 for the month, and you guys use that card to purchase your food.
Right, but let me clarify something. No, all the Cuban get that card for 150. For example, some of them only get for 110.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Why do some people get a different amount? Do you know?
For example, they ask you if you coming with a couple, and if you coming with a couple, you only receive one thing.
Oh, okay. So if it's like two of you that are together, you each get 110.
Yes. For example, if you and your girlfriend coming together, then both of you get one thing. No matter after 1 month you separate, you break up, you will still get the one thing.
That's interesting. Okay. So 110 or 160. If you're by yourself, you get 160.
Yeah.
And when you go to the grocery store, can you buy anything you want at the grocery store with the card, or is there a limit on the things that you can purchase?
All that is in store we can buy. But we only buy food basically with the car because it's the more that we need is food, no someone else.
Okay. So right. Somebody's asking like if you need like female hygiene products, toothpaste, deodorant, those things you purchase as well? Or do you guys need anything like that?
Yes, we need it. What we can do is, like, for example, get all these things together, and then we can ask to the people what is the most that you need, because not all of us have the same needles. Needle needs. For example, the women have a special needle.
Yes.
They need how you call what you use for the
feminine products.
Yeah, feminine products.
Yes.
So maybe you can help with the guy with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so you'll be in touch and you'll let me know, and then we'll see how we can assist. And I'm hoping that soon people can hear, because listen, if you have to go back to Cuba, then you have to go back to Cuba. I mean, I've never said, all of you are going to get asylum or whatever. But I think the point is a decision has to be made. Waiting a year to respond to someone doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that's exactly what we are asking for. Get a process, a serious process, not something that you say something only because crosses the idea for your mind. No, you have proof in the table. You can check it. You can take the decision by without base. That's only that we are asking. And I want to thank to the opportunity to speak to the Cayman people and say thank you for all the things that you have done for me and for my friends.
Yes. So this morning, we saw 8 more Cubans coming in to East End. It looks like they've decided, that they are not going to stay. Are you guys spreading the word in Cuba that, listen, maybe Cayman is not the place that you want to come because the process here is not really that good for Cubans. It's difficult. We don't live in the best of conditions. So maybe you go somewhere else and, try to get somewhere else. I don't know.
Yeah. If they explain, for example, the authority explained that from the beginning, I'm pretty sure that a lot of Cubans are going to stay.
Yeah.
They're just going to say, okay, thank you, guys. And they continue the trip.
So you think that the original explanation you got when you guys asked if, can we apply for asylum? It wasn't properly explained. And so you thought, oh, yes, we're going to get asylum. So we're going to come on board. Is that what you're thinking that happened?
Yes, there is a lot of confusion in our process. And the main problem is that we almost don't have communication with the authority, They do what they have to do and they don't explain nothing to us. So political asylum is not something that you do every day, that you don't know nothing at all. For example, in my case, I know for my own what happened to me in Cuba, I can apply and I can start a process. Well, that's me. Maybe other guy come and here because somebody told you that you can apply for political asylum, but he don't even know what is that.
He doesn't know what political asylum is even.
Yeah, maybe he only want, I don't know, like be an economical refugee or something like that. But they don't know the exact word. So that can make a lot of confusion.
Right. I see.
And other thing is when you go to the proper authority and you ask a question, and if you don't get any answer from that is more confusion, more misunderstanding.
Very interesting. So lots of misinformation, and this is why we're going to sit down with CBC and try to get some answers and understand how this works, because you're saying there's a lot of misinformation, and you guys obviously in Cuba don't have a concept of, you don't have political asylum. Nobody there is granting you political asylum. So just like you said in your interview, there's a lot of things because of how Cubans are, the environment that you're in, it's a totally different country. There are a lot of things that you just don't understand. Like there's no context for you to put that in.
Yeah, it's Cuban is a special country, but in the bad way, so the law is completely different. What to democracy and all the thing is completely different. It's something that maybe for you will be hard to understand. So that can cause a lot of Cubans when they arrive here, they have to change the mentality completely, because you come from a place where the only law is what the government said. There is no law from, for example, the human rights. We don't have human rights in Cuba, so you only try to survive.
The people say, the conditions that you're living in at the Civic Center is better than what you have in Cuba. Can you give us an idea of what life is like in Cuba? Like, what are the conditions that you live in there? Do you think what you have at the Civic Center is better or worse than where you were living in Cuba?
Not really. We have to know that not all the people don't have the same mentality. So the kind of mentality that you have is what gonna give you the place where you live. That thing. Maybe some Cubans live worse than that, but I can't speak by myself, and I'm telling you. From my 17 years old, I started business. I have a beautiful house. I have my beautiful bikes, my business, and all the things. So I live by myself. It's completely different how I'm living now. You understand? So there is another Cuban that they belong to other states. So it's not like Cayman that is a small country. In Cuba is bigger than Cayman, so we have plenty of states and different economics. Some people they maybe they don't have the car of the year, but they have good facility to live.
So you're saying everybody's situation is different. So in your case, having to live with 40 plus people is not something you're used to. You're not living in that condition.
No, not really. I know. I don't believe that nobody has living with 40 people together. It's something that is impossible. No matter that the country that you are is, I don't know. Not even in Cuba, I know a place where 40 people live in the same place. Like, you have to wait for food, have to wait for take a bath. No,
that's not life in Cuba.
No.
Wow.
In Cuba, everybody used to have his own house. It's not like a, the condition that we live here.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Well, I guess, you keep us updated on kind of what's going on. One of the things that I've said to your group is that, the Caymanian people don't like the public protesting. So this morning, we have again a Cuban guy who's out on the waterfront. He's there by the port, showing people his baby, complaining to tourists and all this sort of stuff. this is the sort of behavior that we find to be very insulting, actually. And yet we see, you know, some Cubans are going to continue to do it.
Yeah, about that, if you mind, let me explain something. The only reason why we protest is because we don't found a proper way to talk with the authority. We try for every way that we know. We went to the government. We wrote letter for Clifford. We go to the place, the immigration where we signed, and we try to reach to the chief officer, and nobody never get an answer. So that is the only way, the only reason why we have to do that. But all the Cubans that live in the island, not all of them are refugees, and not all of them have the same mentality. Yes, I don't want a guy that, for example, if you get a bad picture of one Cuban, you choose everybody for that, because that is something that is not fair. It's something that even in the Bible say that it's not properly that a person do that, because maybe I'm trying to do my best, but maybe other guy don't. He don't care about nothing. So I'm not a person, and I'm a completely different person to that one. And I think that there is a lot of Cubans here that they get the love of the Caymanian peoples, and they are good persons. So if somebody is doing something bad, it's okay. The law is there. You can use the law. But if there is a person that is trying to improve, that is trying to do the right things, okay, so if you can take it with different eyes.
Yeah. So you're saying basically you want the people to know that you're individuals, like don't judge you all the same.
Even our process are individuals.
Yeah.
No political asylum is all the group together. No, it's individual.
Right. Okay. Well, thank you very much for explaining, you know, I think a lot of this, it's helpful. You know, and I guess, you know, like I tell people, I think everybody has a right to be heard. So hopefully, you know, that the people are listening and they're hearing you, and, you know, some people will not care and some people will care. And so we just continue to move forward, and I'm hoping that there can be some improvements in your living situation there as well.
Yeah. Thank you, Ms. Sandra, for call.
Okay. Thanks.
Have a good day.
Thanks very much. Okay. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Bye.
All right, folks. Siobhan says that's how people are. They classify, I think is what you meant to say. Everyone is the same, and that's wrong. Not everyone is the same. Majority of people still do it. Darlene says, Sandy, try to call someone to ask where money on the Cuban migrants, remember, not refugees, let's start using the correct word. For sure, it doesn't look like it's being spent and where they're living. So we've asked the question by email already. Good morning, caller. Welcome to the program.
Good morning. Good morning, Arthur Sandy.
Morning, darling.
Yeah. Tell me something. I got a few questions. I don't hate the Cubans.
Yeah.
Or nothing like that, right? It's just the situation that we're not supposed to be in this situation because of our incompetent government.
Yes.
That's the only thing, right? So isn't there somebody that could override the ministry, like in cases like this? I mean, like I don't know if the FCO office or the Commonwealth office or what could step in and take the situation, because if it's obvious that our government can't handle it, and if they're following the laws that is supposed to be following the laws that is outlined to them, this facility definitely ain't it, because these people, international human rights are being violated, living under that condition. So Cayman doesn't have an international human rights or a human rights agency.
Well, we have the Human Rights Committee, or whatever they call themselves. I have no idea exactly what they do, to be honest. The Human Rights Commission.
Good. So
but
thank
yeah,
you. So
I mean, you know, I don't think anybody is going to come in and say to us, this is how you need to treat people. You know, maybe what we need to do is we need to start electing people who have some degree of humanity. Because listen to me, why do you guys think John would care about how the Cubans are being treated? He has a company that is constantly violating the rights of his workers, not paying them, not paying insurance during COVID and all kind of stuff, owing people pension for years. He has owed people pension for years. And yet he can travel when he feels like it. He can go buy a new car. He can do whatever he wants. And he doesn't feel obligated to pay his workers. So why do we think he has a conscience? This is why we need to start electing better people. I
understand and I agree with you 1,000%. I mean, you're on the same page with that. But all I'm saying now, okay, if they got excuse me, they got waste on their hand. They got caca on their hand. By ignoring this caca on your hand, that's not gonna make it go away. It's only gonna make it get stinker. If you touch anything, it gonna spread. So this is the situation now that they're in with these Cubans, and it's been building up for years. Now, it's an international. I got asked nobody that. Nobody know how to ask. All the viewers could see from that video that is a violation of these people human rights, how they're living. They're supposed to, how people they're cleaning, money is supposed to be spent by our government to clean that facility, and that facility not supposed to be in that situation. They're not supposed to spend no money going up and down trying to get to the immigration office and all that kind of stuff. All that is a violation of these people human rights. Now, I'm a man that I tries to speak the truth when the truth is given. I don't agree with them being here, but their rights are being violated.
Yes.
You know. So what I'm asking now, isn't there somebody the governor can't step in and say, well, listen, the ministers, a bunch of idiots, they're not handling the situation, or England or somebody from the Commonwealth office say, okay, we're gonna take over the Cuban crisis in the Cayman Islands, because it's obvious that the Cayman Islands government can't handle the situation. They can't, even the government could write a letter or saying something to the Commonwealth office or someone saying, well, we can't handle the situation, we need help. Can I take over this situation and help and help
This person has asked me to please give you kaboom. Someone's asked me to please give you kaboom. Listen, the truth of the matter is, let me be very, very honest with you, caller. The truth of the matter is, how many of you even knew before that this is how these people were living? Nobody knew. And so in my opinion, what has been happening here is that they've been living like this for years, and essentially people were just happy to, I guess, not even think about it. The government is kind of hiding it. It's like a dirty little secret, right? That's why they don't allow people to go in the Civic Center. And this is why I asked the question yesterday. Why haven't any of our elected officials ever thought to themselves, I would like to go in this facility and see how these people are living?
Thank you.
They don't care.
Thank you. It's worse. Yeah, it's worse than what I thought it was, and I know it was bad. Trust me, I know I could have imagined it was bad. Right, because I got a glimpse of it already. Because I had something to do in that area, and I got a glimpse of it. But it's worse than what I thought it was. And thank you. They are hiding it. All the women is hiding it. No, you're not even hear the opposition saying anything. I mean, this is not time to play politics.
And this been under their watch too.
To do the right thing.
Yes,
exactly. You know, so they got to do something about this, or Cayman could get a black eye from the international human rights. You make them catch wind of it, which they will catch wind of it, and then they're gonna start to say, well, Cayman treat mistreating these Cubans. That is all that happened. But if they had did the right thing in the first.
I think we accidentally oh gosh, I think I might have accidentally hung up on that customer. Hello, sir? Oh, there we go. Sorry, I think I
Tell them
accidentally.
what going on. When they enter in here, just tell them straight, and then I guarantee political asylum if I don't want to stay on the slave, not on the go.
Yeah.
You know, or just try to find a way not to upset them at all. Give them food and put them on the way. To hell with what international law say. How United States could do what they want to do with them. And Cayman can't do nothing with what they want to do with them. And the British are they're not intervening into the situation. Our resources are being drained, and nobody's saying anything. You know what about another thing? What about that guy? You said the one out there in the waterfront. Now you say he had political asylum.
Yeah, so he's actually one that has been granted political asylum.
Okay, so what a lot of them would deal with him now. If that was a Caymanian, then now they would have dealt with him same way. So what a lot of intervene and deal with him. Why was he kicked out of his place? I say on the post that you put up that he was.
I'm guessing most times you get kicked out because you're not paying rent. Probably. Somebody said he was telling people that he needs a job. But what the recommendation I would have for him, instead of him sitting down wasting the time trying to get the other Cubans to protest, he needs to go out there and make sure that he remains employed. That what he needs to try and work on.
Why are in the first place? Why are they giving people these asylums if Caymanians can't get no job? I need a job now, and that's not true. Exactly what you said. That era Caymanian could go get a job right now. That ain't true.
No, what I'm saying is from a legal perspective, there's nothing prohibiting you.
Okay.
Yeah, but these Cubans can't work, so legally they're not allowed to work. So that's what I'm saying.
I understand that, but this one that got political asylum now, he's in the same situation.
First of all, he not even.
Who gonna give him a job?
Well, this is the other thing too.
He's blacklisted.
And if you haven't learned English in the amount of time that he's been here, who gonna be able to hire him? So that's another question too.
Well, okay, so all that they should have told when they grant him the political asylum. You see, they're not thinking we got a bunch of buffoons running the country. You know, I know no genius, but common sense is all you take sometimes. Yeah, exactly. So you know, I don't know.
Well, leave us there. We do have another caller.
Yeah, I glad sometimes with the situation, maybe the people would learn the hard lesson from the hard way.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, my dear. We do have another caller who is trying to call in. My apologies. I can't take a straight call and WhatsApp call at the same time. So do call us back. I know you called a couple times, about 3 times already. So feel free to give us a call back. But yes, I mean, this is the situation here. So very, very sad indeed. All right. So let me say this. You know, we're a big family here. Actually, let me just call this caller back. I know we're not got no toll-free number yet, honey Jill.
Good morning, Miss Sandra.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. And how are you?
Not too bad, my dear.
I'm calling from East End.
Yes,
the manager out there this morning begging for money and stuff, and I get him from there. You East End all this time had a nice place. And
the one that's on the waterfront.
Yes, ma'am. You can't behave damn self.
Oh.
He had a nice place that man had put him up on time he come.
So who had him put up? Was that government or was he paying for himself?
No, ma'am. The man making stay there free.
He was staying for free?
He's my neighbor, but I ain't calling no name.
Yes. Oh wow.
But he can't behave himself.
So why did he get evicted then?
Because he can't behave.
Like what do you mean by that? What is he doing exactly?
Misbehaving. In not got no respect.
He's disrespectful. But you don't have any examples of exactly what he's doing.
Thank you. So get a dog on him road. Tell him get him up there. We spend all this time.
Living for free.
Free. And your wife had a good job.
Wow.
Yes, ma'am.
What a mess.
I
tell you.
Down, take it to the girl, but in back and stuff. He had to make me stand. He had to make.
I want to know exactly what he was doing. How was he being disrespectful?
Well, I really don't know that.
Okay.
I read it. But he gave notice couple times. But at last he can't take it no more from him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yes.
Wow. My goodness.
So get a gun tomorrow day for him.
Okay. Well, we'll
Please.
certainly let the people know. You know, wow.
Yes.
Disrespectful. Yeah.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
mean, like I said, you know, you come to Rome, you got to make some adjustments. So maybe how he's used to
Exactly.
going on in his country, I don't know if he's
Yes.
allowed to be disrespectful in Cuba because they may not even allow it. But in this country, that's a
Right.
no. That's a no-no.
And he can find something to do.
Does he speak any English? I don't get the sense that he really speaks a whole lot of English.
Oh yes. Oh yes. Good.
Oh.
I used to talk to him every day, nearly.
Oh gosh.
You pass my road.
What about the
Over
little
know you
baby
did.
now? How old is the baby? She's probably at least 3-4 years old now. She's a little
I
toddler.
don't she going to preschool.
She was going to preschool.
Yes.
Okay.
He's staying ahead of in preschool, government.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
My gosh. Well, thank you so much for that additional information. It's useful because again, if people don't know, they don't know. So I wasn't sure. Somebody said, why did he get evicted? I said, I don't know. I don't know if he wasn't working or whatever, but he would rather go out on the waterfront than be respectful to people.
Yes.
My God.
Okay, Miss Sandra. Thanks a
Thank
lot.
you, darling. Appreciate it.
And keep the good box up. You're
Thank you.
doing a great job. If it wasn't for you, Miss Sandra, you wouldn't know what's going on. You hear?
Thank you so much,
So
my
please
dear.
keep it up.
I
And
appreciate
you're
it.
a wonderful, loving person you are. You have good personality.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
and keep the good works up.
Yes,
okay?
ma'am. Thank you so much.
All right.
Okay, darling. Have a good day. All right, dear.
You too.
936-2626. You know, say what you want to say, folks, but Caymanians are big on respect. I mean, you know, you got to respect your elders. You got to respect people, especially when people are helping you out and doing you a favor. The last thing you need to do is being disrespectful, really and truly. That is, they want to talk about human rights. Well, that's a human trait that Caymanians expect from people. So, you know, what, like I tell them, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. And I believe in being respectful to people. Y'all see me get out of sort sometime, but that's when people are disrespectful for me. I gotta give them a little taste of their own medicine. But you don't lead with that position. So that's quite unfortunate to hear. Ay, what a heat. Darlene Mackenzie says it's on Mall Road now. You talking it? You're on Mall Road now, Mama. You talking it? What a hot mess. Johan says, is anybody else vexed considering that the Cuban migrants are demanding more and more from CIG and cannot make the demands of their own government? Johan, I think it's pretty clear that they can't make the demands from their own government. Are they really demanding more? I mean, I think you need to be specific about what you think it is that they're demanding. As the guy said, please don't judge them based on this guy because he's not even with them. He already has asylum. So, you know, he's in a very different situation and his lack of respect in demonstrating whatever has nothing to do with them. So I'm not really sure what you think that they're demanding. They're just saying that they would like to be treated with a little bit of respect and dignity. And, you know, if they could get some cleaning supplies, that'd be great. You know what? That somebody said to me the other day that I thought was very, very interesting. They said, Miss Sandy, despite the conditions that they're living in, you've never seen one of them on the streets looking shabby and smelling and all kind of stuff. They still carry themselves with some degree of pride. And I must say that seems to be the case from my observations as well. You know, they might not have the most expensive stuff and whatever, but they still seem to carry themselves at least clean at the very minimum. So what a hot situation, folks. When we have the CBC interview done, I will certainly air that. And I think that's going to answer a lot of questions about what is in place within the law, what we can do and what we can't do to make sure that you guys are all kept up to date in terms of that. Miss Debbie says, I wish Sandy would run. No, ma'am. No, 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 no. The only running I need to do is around the block, honey child. I need to run around the block to get some exercise, which, by the way, got myself a little bicycle on Friday. And big shout out to Uncle Bill's. They have a nice bicycle selection. Big shout out to Craig Marin from Craig's Cycling. Go check him out. He will, he came to my house, delivered the bike for me, made sure my seat was adjusted properly, made some adjustments, made sure I got a little bike light and a water bottle. So he added some of the little accessories for me. So big shout out to Craig's Cycling. You can find him there right off of Walker's Road. He has his own little business. So go check him out if you have any cycling needs. Good morning, Miss Darlene.
Oh, sorry to call you back. So, Sandra, I just want to get clear. Is someone from the authorities gonna come on your show? I missed the first part of it, maybe.
So what we're gonna do?
Nobody has come out yet.
Oh, honey child. Somebody said John overseas dabbling, God knows what. But anyway, we can't expect anything from the elected arm, probably. But I have spoken to Mr. Charles Clifford, who's head of CBC. Now, he has to be careful in some ways what he says, because he is actually the person as of 2022 that makes the first decision regarding these applications. So that's one of the reasons why he said he can't meet with them. And I don't think that they understood that, because I certainly didn't. He is not in a position to meet with them, because then he goes on to look at their applications. So that would be a conflict, right? But, they've only wanted somebody to answer their questions. But what his team will do, him and his senior management team, is they have agreed, subject to scheduling, we're going to try to work out a schedule date. They're going to sit down with me and we're going to do an interview asking them primarily about how the process works. Obviously, there's certain things that they can't answer because that falls on the elected arm of government or on the ministry. But whatever is within their remit to clarify and to answer in terms of the law, how applications are handled, when Cubans come on board, can we just push them back out to sea? All those types of questions, hopefully we can get answered.
Okay, well, that makes
the
me
elected,
feel a little better.
the elected arm, girl, I'm so disappointed in them.
We're gonna give up on them. So I hope people remember these days when it comes to election. And Sandra, I want to openly again apologize. I not apologize for most of what I said about being ungrateful, but I could understand and I can come to grips with saying that because we didn't know that situation and we just took it all as, they being who they are usually, I want to say sorry. And I, for one, honestly, don't feel like not even, listen, my cat, and I'm sure your dog, lives a better life.
Oh, God, definitely. I know Zeus not living them kind of, no,
and I know Georgie, he don't pay no rent. He's just laid out here on the bed, taking
That's
a tan,
right.
and he just eats 4 times a day, getting washed. So I want to say that they had all reason to protest. For me, I blame, I'm not blaming, but if I were them, I would have protested for the conditions of what they were living under. Not even so much as nobody wasn't answering them, but come on, man, we can't treat people like this. This is not what Cayman is about. There's no way, nobody here today, or not here, but in Cayman today, saying that it should be like this is heartless. So again, thank you, Sandra, for all you do, and you'll have a crown, a crown in heaven if there is, to be, for all that you have done. And somebody just say election, my darling, don't get mixed up in that. That's slop. That's slop. When we call slop, that's what slop
I hate to say it, but that would be a downgrade from where I am today.
Exactly. So don't you stay right where you are. Just ask God for guidance, knowledge, and wisdom to do what you do, and the health and strength to do what you do every day for the people of the Cayman Islands.
Yes.
And in the world in all. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, Miss
Thank
Darlene,
you.
have a good day. Yes, I mean, trust me, it's a downgrade for me to even think about politics at this stage, because I'm able to do so much more, Miss Debbie, right where I am. for people in just a more meaningful way. Jordan, good morning to you. Jordan says this individual has been nothing but trouble since he's come here. I had the opportunity to speak with him, and when he was first protesting, all he wanted was his own personal desires fulfilled on the Caymanian dollar. Not one thing he said to me that day had anything to do with asylum. It was all entitled claims and demands of selfish personal desires. I wish they took the vessel and left, that our CIG never accepted them back. I'm shocked, disgusted, and appalled that they gave him asylum. Well, yeah, apparently he had it before. And I'm going to say, Jordan, everything you said is, I'm sure, spot on. You're right on the money on this one. And again, this is where now we come back to the point. Not everybody is the same. Just like not all Caymanians are the same. Not all Jamaicans are the same. Not all Cuban migrants or even Cuban refugees are the same. We have to judge people based on how we find them. And he definitely stirs the pot a lot. And that's why it stinks, right? And I'm telling you, his own Cuban people don't want nothing to do with him. Okay? A lot of them are like, he's not our voice. He's out there claiming that he knows the law and this and that and blah, blah, blah. They're like, Miss Ann, don't pay him no mind. Maria Rice joining us from Florida. Good morning, darling. How are you? She says, honestly, I just got on. I haven't listened for a couple of weeks, but I hope it all works out, whatever it is. My apologies for being oblivious. No problem at all, Maria. We're just really hoping for some change. Like the caller said, my dog not even living in them kind of conditions. Come on now. We as a country really should have some minimum standards and how people are treated, regardless of how they're here. Prisoners have rights too, even people who are incarcerated. You think that condition of how those people are at this civic center could happen at Northwood Prison and those boys up there wouldn't be rioting? They were upset in writing when they wasn't getting lobster and what a thing called again, Oxtail after Hurricane Ivan. They were sending food back. I remember being at Cayman. What was the name of the food place there that the Marians used to own? Hurley's people on Walker's Road, where C3 is now, Cayman Imports. I was standing up there trying to buy chicken for me and my neighbors so we could put something on the grill in the days after Hurricane Ivan. And I see a prison officer come back returning chicken, because the prisoners said they don't want no chicken, that they were demanding all kind of other stuff. And I was like, our prisoners eating better than me right now? This gotta be a joke. And sure enough, they got riot if they don't get what they want. So if incarcerated people who have broken the law and who we know for sure are criminals and have been convicted by a court of law living better than that, I mean, come on. It can't be. It can't be. All right, folks. Yes, Cayman Imports. Amani says Mr. Charles Clifford needs to take away his asylum and pass it on to the young man who is at the Civic Center, who seems to be more appreciative. Worse, knowing he's at risk if returned, give it to him and not this jackass on the waterfront. We're after hours now, so we can use a few little proper descriptive words. Amani, listen, you can't, somebody sent his picture yesterday and posted up, and I know a lot of you were like, oh, that's not right. Don't talk about people like that. But once you know who he is and what his MO has been, I think it changes the narrative entirely. And he's not someone who's appreciative of any of it. And that's sad. So thank you, Nikki. Fabulous is in the house. Thank you. Miss Ann says, thank you, Sandy, for exposing the other side of the situation. Maria says, wow, that's crazy. They're eating better than Wade and I. Ingrid said, I'm totally agree with you. So listen, we are a family here on CMR, and I want to extend our condolences this morning to Lavana. She's normally here with us, but unfortunately her father passed away this morning. And so we want to express our sincere condolences to her family on the passing of Mr. Lewis. Our words, I'm sure, can't even bring you any comfort at this time. but he had been sick, and I think she had recently placed him in kind of 24-hour care, and unfortunately now he has passed away. So I'm just really, really sorry to hear it. If there's anything certainly that we can do for you, please don't hesitate to reach out. So again, Mr. Lewis Christian has passed away this morning. So our condolences. Very, very sad situation. We wanted to do some birthday greetings as well. On the opposite side of the spectrum, there he is. May he rest in peace. We wanted to express our birthday greetings to none other than Miss Mary Lawrence. Look at this beautiful queen. She is gorgeous and always carries herself with the most amazing just pride and dignity. Oh my gosh, she is immaculate in her presentation of herself. Look at her. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. You want to talk about a Caymanian woman that represents all of the amazing things that are hashtag Caymanian proud. This is it here with Miss Mary. And she this morning is, let me make sure I get the age right now, I don't want to get this wrong. She is 84 years young. I love, love, love her. Just white hair. Look at that hair. So beautiful, head full of hair. And she always looks so presentable. A lot of times I saw Miss Mary actually on Saturday night at Pedro for the Emancipation celebration that was going on there. And she just looks so amazing. And I must say that I looked at her and then I looked at some other female MPs that were in attendance at this event. Miss Mary, can you please offer them a course on how to dress appropriately, how to carry themselves and dress to certain events? Because they don't have that skill. Even her premiere, she should show up to class too. She should be in the front of the class that you're going to host and how to dress like a lady that is representing the beautiful Cayman Islands. Miss Mary has got it, honey child. Some of them others, oh my gosh. Zeus dressing better than them, and he only putting on a little t-shirt. They got to do better for the position that they're in. My Lord, somebody say shots fucking fired this morning. I'm just saying, Miss Mary looks beautiful. Maria says, yes, ma'am. Happy birthday. I'm so proud to be part of her and Miss Ann's family. So a happy, happy birthday to the beautiful 84 years young Mary Lawrence. And I'm still waiting, Miss Mary, to do that Cayman interview with you. So just give me a little dingle. You know my number. So we're going to put up birthday greetings here. Siobhan said, LOL. What? F that, fire them shots. Yes. What a hot mess. Damien says, Sabrina Turner always knows how to dress as well. Yes. Sabrina would get an A in that class. She does well. But some of them others, honey child, I saw one on Saturday. I was just looking at her shaking my head. I'm like, did she just roll out of bed and just threw something on? Did she forget the event was happening and was coming from like the Botanic Park after spending the whole day out there sweating and just decided to show up? Piss poor is how they look. Oh my God. Lord Jesus. And I know we come in all different shapes and say, yes, that was her. You saw her too at the event, honey child. Didn't she look a hot mess? The other person named her out. They said, yes, she looked a hot mess. I'm sorry. But I was just like, what the fuck? Girl, where you come out from? No, sir. The person says, Sabrina looked fabulous. She knows how to dress for her size. And yes, I was going to say this, we all come in different shapes and sizes, and some got a little bit more in the top and some got the big bonk in. These things you got to accommodate and know how to dress appropriately. And most people looked absolutely gorgeous on Saturday. Oh my God, y'all put on your finest attire. I can show y'all some of the pictures because they were looking nice. But this one, Strong Wilson, Sandy, you killing me. Dying with laughter. Honey child, I don't know who gonna drop down here today, but some of y'all gonna fail that class, okay? So somebody said, who that is? Let me guess. And they guessed the right person. So yeah, why she always look so sloppy? Especially for younger MP. Always looking sloppy and Lord Jesus. Anyway, honey, chill. Y'all gotta do better. Jamila says, and they're making all that money, they can't even get a pedicure, right? Well, I don't know, honey, chill. Poor me, I need a manicure and pedicure myself. My nails looking kind of shot at the moment. The toes looking good, but the nails, oh Lord, not so much so. They've been so brittle lately. I need to do some treatment on them. And I've given up on this. What is this thing called again? The gel nails. I can't do that. They tear up my nails. My nails are in such. Normally, I have really hard nails, and anytime I do gel, it destroys my nails. So I can't fool with gel. And I'm not a fake nail kind of person, but I just need to treat my nails a little bit to get them back to strength. And then I don't like too many long nails either, because child, I'd be busy. I'd be typing and doing stuff. Everybody guessing exactly who she is. So trust me when I tell you, y'all know. Yep. That's her. Yes, honey child. She need to do better. Anyway, it is what it is, folks. But we would like y'all make enough money off the people of the Cayman Islands. Get yourself a little stylist or something. Most of these young people can show y'all how to dress now. You can be professional and whatever and still look nice. Okay. I'm just saying, take a page out of Miss Mary's book. She always looks beautiful. I have never seen Miss Mary look disheveled yet. Look here. Look at her stand up by that beautiful flag. This, folks, is how you do it. And you know what? If y'all need to shop on a budget, because some of y'all be supporting men that not working, all kind of stuff as MPs. If you need some assistance on how to shop on a budget, yours truly can help you. I'm more than happy to help you. I'll go with you to Miami and we can go to Marshall's and I can show you how to pick out some nice suits and stuff for a very, very good price. Good morning, caller. Hello?
Good morning. I want to tell you one little thing about that.
Yes.
Gel nail polish. Bad
I know I stopped using I stopped using it. Now I can't be bothered with that.
I heard something, but I never did like that because I got put so much things to get it off, and they put it on me one time, and I tell them I suffers anxiety, and you can't get it off without soaking your nails and putting toilet paper and all that, and I tell them I didn't want that again, but I saw something, I can't remember exactly what was it for because I'm so stressed out now, but I saw something on TV some weeks ago about that, about gel polish. It's something it's going, it's bad for your nails. I saw it on Fox News.
Yeah. Thank you so much, caller. So somebody was saying that if I could send a picture of this particular MP, I don't even know she took any because she's looking so sloppy. They would go on to say, San, Miss Mary has class and you can't teach that. Lord Jesus. Well, you can't teach class, but you can teach how to dress, I think. Anyway, they need a course in etiquette and whatever. Oh no, a cyclist hit by a car on the top of Dump Road. Oh, Lord Jesus. Y'all have got to do better. Cayman's worst drivers. Wow. This person said, I must admit, every time I see Sabrina, she looks amazing, even over the weekend in the heat in town. Yes, my dear child. Sabrina got it down, Pat. Anywho, good luck to him. Speaking of Sabrina, I see her little profile picture is her looking nice in her little hat. I like the hat, honey child. I gotta get me one of them. I like the fasteners though, because my head can't take too much on top of that. So I'll take a fastener versus a hat any day. But here's a little picture, Sabrina's profile picture. She's showing off in her little profile picture. Yes. Yeah. Yes, MPs, try and lead by example in more ways than one. I'm just saying, y'all can do better. Look at that. Look at that. Yes, go on, girl. You go on through. Somebody say, you were so shady. Don't be mixing up Zeus in this mess. I know, right? Even Zeus looking better. Trust and believe me, he doing better than the rest of them. So I'm just saying. All right, honey chillin'. I think that's it. Y'all be good. The MP from Savannah always looks nice. Also, I forget her name. Oh, Heather Bodden. Yes, Miss Heather puts herself together pretty well. And some of the men need to do better too. So we're not just talking about the women here. Some of y'all men are sloppy as hell as well. supposedly represent his country. I must say, Minister Andre, he's always sharp. I saw him there Sunday as well. J.E. Banks was there, and Jay was looking good. I can't remember, was Kenneth Bryan there? I think I heard him. He didn't speak, but I think I saw, was he in the program? Somewhere about, I think. Yes, he was there. I saw him. And Kenneth generally, generally Kenneth looks quite well as well. Miss Heather was there, yes, because she spoke. What other MPs were there? I didn't recall seeing anybody from the opposition, but I was told that Mr. Roy McTaggart was there, but I actually didn't see him. Lady Barbara, Barbara normally dresses very well as well. He wore a cobalt suit, says Jordan. You can tell Jordan's a man that likes to dress nice. Look at his profile picture. Listen, Minister Jay, he's a big man. But, again, size doesn't dictate. You can get your suits tailored and still look good regardless of your size and stuff like that. So don't let that be excuse. And the person that I'm talking about who's sloppy, size is not her problem, because she not a big woman. So she just don't seem to know how to dress. She needs a wardrobe reboot or something. I think some of them just need to care. So Roy McTaggart was there. Very good. Him and his wife. Lovely. So good that they came out and supported, like I said, our premier missing in action. Why? I mean, I get that you got scheduling, you got to be here, there, and everywhere, but sometimes you got to know how to balance your schedule. Something as important as this. 62 years, we're bringing back emancipation. I would have expected you to show up to all the events, quite honestly. Anyway, yes. And by the way, Jordan, I realized you've called the show a couple times, and people actually were asking me if you were Hunter, because the two of you sound a little bit alike. And when you were talking, I'm like, no, first of all, he's speaking plenty of sense, so we know that not Hunter. That not Hunter. Jordan was speaking really sensibly. But the voice, I could see why people were asking, because your voices are there's still a difference, but your radio voices are pretty close. So those of you who were asking, is that Hunter? No, that's Jordan Rivers, honey child. He from the West. Mm-hmm. She only showed up to get an award from DART. Who got an award from DART? Siobhan said shots fired again. Oops. Oh, well. Y'all all right? Oh, my God. No, sir. Oh, and Isaac Rankin. Yes, how can I forget? Obviously, Isaac was there. Isaac looked good. His father, Papa Gerlo, was there and dancing. He looked amazing. Yes, we had a lot of her. Julie is on a tour. Who's on a tour? Who's on a cruise? Can't be Juliana. So anyway, yes, let me see here now. Oh my God, I'm so excited. Oh, we got construction going on around here. Things are happening. I'm not going to tell you all until we're done. Miss Stacy just sent me a picture of what's going on outside. I'm so excited. Hot mess. Okay, honey child. One day we can have a live show with a lot of excitement soon. Soon come. All right. Thank you. You're a good friend. Who's that? An award from DART. Juju's on a cruise? What the fuck? You're kidding me. What kind of cruise is she going on? A cruise while we celebrating Emancipation Day? Y'all gotta be kidding me. Are you serious? A cruise? A cruise. A cruise. Wow. My God. Lord Jesus. No, sir. I can't take it. I told you many MPs are off island. Apparently they say John away cheating on his wife in off island. But I tell y'all, that's not a cheating situation if the wife is okay with it, because she's doing her own thing too. That's a, I don't know what kind of bangarang situation y'all call that. What do you call that? when it's an open relationship, I guess. Some of y'all into all that kind of foolishness. Cameron said swingers cruise. I'm pretty sure that ain't it. Probably a geriatric cruise or something else. Christian cruise. Christians cruising on the ocean waves or something, but it definitely, it's cruise to Africa. She's not going back to the motherland either. Oh, speaking of I wanted to share this story. I'll share it tomorrow because our radio listeners are gonna miss out. But this person says, so me heard on a cruise. Well, I heard she did go to Miami last week, you know, so that makes sense because she went into Miami on let me see here now. That was what day that was that she went Miami. Yes, Miss Stacy. I think that was on one day early last week, like maybe Tuesday or something. Anyway, she was on a she went into Miami, so I guess she flew into Miami to go on the cruise. What a hot mess. Okay. Anyway, what El Rey say? Open and swinging. No, sir. Siobhan says, yeah, a fucking, oh my God. You say it like you shot LMFA. Oh, I can't with you, Sandy. Y'all need to behave. Once the back patio is still there, we good, says Nikki. Those guys need me outside.
Mr. Marlon, we're supposed to get some piping for them because they want to run the trenches so when rain fall, the court don't flood. So he said if we get it today, we would have run. So they want
Marlon needed to get piping. Here you know. Here you know. Well, I have to call Marlon and see where's the pipe, Marlon? Where's the pipe, honey child? Yes, hello. Hello. I still on the show. I'll call you when I finish. Uh-huh. She carried a whole bunch of people on the cruise. That's our money. What the hell? That I heard, yeah. Yeah, she's not celebrating emancipation because she's not a slave and she's not African damn fool. Oh, she took people cruising with her. John on the cruise too? Oh, out of the government purse. Oh, now we got a problem, you know. She can cruise on her own money, but she's not cruising on my money. I want to know now about this cruise for real, because if it's my money being spent, I need to know what the hell is going on. What you need a cruise for? We can get to the bottom of that. Anybody else got this stuff for me? Y'all know how to reach me, honey child, 324-1612. Call me direct and tell me what you're hearing about this cruise. Holy crap. What a heat. Julie gone on a cruise with a bunch of other fools. Ay. Oh, geez, peace. Me see bill coming. What? One bill is in the negative? CUC owes me $29.25. Cha-ching! Yes, that is lunch money, folks. That's the power of solar. Hallelujah. Hold on. Praise the Lord. Look at that. When you get solar, CUC end up owing you money. Ay. What a mess. Debbie says, Sandy, you and Siobhan killing me today. Anywho, I got to go find Marlon's piping. We need to call him about the piping because he was supposed to do something with the piping and blah, 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 blah. And the men say they need the piping from Marlon. So, Marlon, hello, honey child. Where is the piping? I send him a little message. John looks like a slave himself, says Lord Jesus. No, sir. Ay. No, sir. All right, so let's go get the piping sorted out. Thank you, Siobhan. Jordan says maybe if I bring my West Bay accent, or people might start telling the difference. Oh, yes, sir, Jonathan. I hear you there, Bobo. So tomorrow, one of the things that we do need to talk about is them West Bay boys who being really bad. I hear some of them got arrested over the weekend because, you know, they want to be the gangsters of Cayman. Lord Jesus, we need to do better. Marva says, Lady Sandra, I love you. I am your Mama Marva. Hello, Mama Marva. Stop playing with words, chat. Playing with this. Cameron, you're too bright. Yeah, you're too damn bright. All right, Maria, back off to work. I'm a butcher for Publix grocery stores. Oh, that must be an interesting job. Yes, you have a beautiful day. All the rest of us, listen, we're about getting up and working hard. Nikki, hardworking businesswoman. She said, White Housekeeping, come and ask if me okay. Sandy's not making me laugh. She had a cruise too, honey child. She forever traveling. But you know what? Lots of hardworking people out there, folks. Go get your coins. Nothing wrong with working hard. Somebody said John is the house nigga. Lord Jesus, y'all are just crazy. Anywho, we got work to do now. So please get to work. Do your best on the job. Make your Caymanian brothers and sisters proud. Good work ethic. And yes, we can make it happen, honey child. All right. No, you're flying this time. Lord, she travels more than, I was going to say more than Julia, but maybe that's not true anymore. Wonk, wonk. All right, folks. Talk to y'all later. Please have a blessed day. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning. What is tomorrow now? Tomorrow is Thursday. Oh, by the way, Indigo is opening tomorrow. Okay. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I need to see if I can reshuffle my schedule a little bit because I want to actually attend that. But anywho, we'll chat. Okay. Bye-bye.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Cold Hard Truth on Bobo 89.1 FM. Cayman's #1 talk show is live weekdays from 7:30 a.m. Never miss an episode again. Watch anytime on CMR's Facebook and YouTube channels for the latest show episodes. Don't forget to follow us online on our social media channels and visit CaymanMarlRoad.com for all the latest news and community happenings.